This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
Wow, you really make this look hard.
Welcome. Hit that like button. Thank you guys for tuning in to another show. Like, share, and subscribe. All the things. Please, everybody, do all the things. We are here again talking about Nick Cannon, the KKK Democrats, and black voters, y'all. Nick Cannon said some things, hurt some feelings, got the people all in a tizzy right now. And the problem is what he said is actually factually true. But the problem with a thing being factually true is that oftentimes once people have bought into the belief emotionally, once they've kind of invested maybe parts of their own identity into that particular belief that you're now challenging as verifiably untrue, it doesn't mean that they're going to actually believe you. Just because you can prove their deeply held belief incredibly factually wrong doesn't mean that they're going to believe you. And in fact, you may upset them to the point of attack. They might even attack you for proving that their long held, their deeply held belief is incredibly wrong. It's just a thing. This is a phenomenon that's been observed numerous times. And it's very unfortunate because everybody's mad at Nick Cannon. And frankly, it's not even just Nick Cannon, really. This is what happens when anybody that is like breaking the mold, you know, leaving the plantation, as they say about black voters or whatever. Anytime you leave the plantation, you get attacked from the people still on the plantation. You effectively gotta like fight your way out or sneak out in the middle of the night. I'm on I want to take you guys to the famous Yuri Bezmenov. He spoke about this. We have to remember the words that were said about this phenomenon.
KGB or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result.
Now, that basically happened after the civil rights era kind of took root. And especially like you get this phenomenon where you start out with the proud civil rights movement, you know, Dr. King and all that, bus boycotts, sit-ins, dogs, fire hoses. You know, you get that proud era of the civil rights movement. And then it shifted to the more militant civil rights movement with well, it was really the revolutionary period at that point. We had like the children, not children, but you know, the followers of Malcolm X after he died. They said it's time to really get radical with it. You know, after the Black Panther Party basically broke up and fell apart, a lot of these people got government jobs. A lot of the left-wing radicals got jobs as teachers and teaching professionals of one way or another. They worked their way into the system right next to the people's children.
The result you can see, most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people.
Right. It would take another generation to be brought up in the ways of Americanism and all that is patriotic and just about this country in order to finally push back effectively against what we have. That means in the meantime, there's just going to be drama and tension and back and forth, pendulum swinging and whatnot. There's just going to be battle. We're battling it out until we can get a proper new generation who comes in to kind of displace this current madness right now. And this is another reason why the left wing is kind of fighting desperately to bring in like third world immigration and take over as much of government and social media levers as they can, because they need to kind of keep the pressure up. They're not really reproducing directly. There's been a whole movement to kind of suppress the birth rate of the Native American citizen population. And by replacing that voting population, that would automatically be more white, more right wing, more patriotic, whatever you want to call it. They would replace them with just foreigners who are indebted to the Democrats because of welfare and this loose network of patronage systems that the Democrats have basically established.
Who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place and who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because the psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice, obviously they will revolt.
The revolution wasn't meant to be won by you. This was not your revolution. But let's take a look at Nick Cannon and all the drama he's kicked up lately. Apparently, Nick Cannon got the people mad.
Part of the Republican Party.
That's right.
Part of the Republican Party.
That's right. Former Democrat, former liberal. I was a liberal Democrat my whole life.
Is that because the bag has got so intense and so heavy that you had a whole nother, you up there with the elite now?
You know, there's always this accusation that any person of color or any like celebrities, especially, anytime they say anything right wing or support the right wing, you always get accused of being in it for the money, when the opposite is more likely. Especially like from a Hollywood perspective, it costs you something to be right wing and public American life in a lot of cases, right? It doesn't really cost you much to be left wing. It's actually a lot more lucrative. This is why they call out like grifters so much. And they, you know, guys like, I remember Derek Jackson was one of the first people I remember to really be called out for just grifting hard, because you know you're selling something that's like catnip to women. And I think that's really how it works on the Democrat side or the left-wing side of things. If you're just saying the easy thing, which is like, if you just say in public, you know, trans women are women, people will give you money for supporting it. But if you say, you know, biological reality is reality, then, you know, the money will dry up, the harassment campaigns will start. You know, this is why I was just over there arguing with Cellulite Podcast, because he was talking crazy the other night, and then he totally did a 180 this morning, and I had to call him out for it, get real awkward on the panel. I had to make things very awkward up there. But I was pointing out to him there is no real middle ground, bro, because as soon as you say something very basic, as soon as you say something that's really like just simple and normal, you're going to get called extreme, because that's just the nature of things right now. The middle ground is kind of an illusion for people who don't want to really stake out a claim and own it for all it's worth, bad, you know, good and bad and ugly. This is why you can't say something as basic as the Democrats actually started the KKK. The Democrats fought to keep slavery. Most slave owners in America were likely Democrats, right? There's just things you're not allowed to say because it breaks the mold.
Not even close. Not even close. Democrats don't care about black people.
Okay,
and they don't care about people. They don't care about people of color. And the Republicans do. And that's the misconception.
And you know what? I agree with you 100%.
Thank you,
People
Nick.
don't know that the Democrats is the party of the KKK.
Yep.
People don't know that the Republicans are the party that freed the slaves.
Yep.
I mean, both of you and I have some conservative views. You just a little bit more outspoken about it than I am. And I honestly don't subscribe to either party. I rock with W.E.B. Du Bois when he said there's no such thing as two parties. It's just one evil party with two different names.
And see, here he is again, though, quoting like a very left-wing black person. Du Bois was like, the socialist of his day or whatever. And black folk just have been inundated with left-wing propaganda and thinking and whatnot. It's just inescapable at this point. But it's very typical that he would just quote Du Bois of all people. He's not quoting like, Booker T. Washington or whatever.
So
yeah, I mean, look, I listen, I'm not married to any party.
Right.
I voted for Donald Trump because we had two options and he was definitely by far the better option for us. And as of now, I agree with a lot of things that he's doing.
Cleaning house.
Yeah.
He doing
But
what he said he was going to do.
guess what? If there's a time where I don't agree, I'll say I don't agree.
Yeah. We got the Gulf of America now.
Period.
He charging, he's like the club. He's charging a $5 million bottle service fee to get into the country.
I know. Listen. But guess what?
And like somehow you're not allowed to like things because you're black. That's one of the weirdest things about like the current moment in American culture, especially with like black culture. But low key, it's always been like that, but it's just even more like that right now. Because you're black, you're not supposed to enjoy things, right? They have like this new version of blackness they try to sell you. It's like this like authentic, hipster-friendly version of blackness that you're supposed to enjoy and indulge in it as black culture.
Welcome to Vanilla Soul, where we prove that soul comes in all colors, my brother. Take a look at our menu. We got everything a brother could ask for. That cornbread, that chicken grease.
Also, everything's 3/5 price if you're black.
It's fucked up what we did to your people, man.
And if you're wondering if some white chocolate brothers like ourselves can whip up that real soul, take a look at our clientele. They're black.
You'll have the hot honey henny glazed watermelon fried chicken. Great pick, my brother.
That one'll take you straight on the Underground Railroad to Flavor Town.
Choo choo, my brother.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
And how about a drink? Our 40 acres and a Moscow mule will make you want to fight the power.
That drink will make you want to slap your mama.
An excellent pairing, my brother. Go ahead and find yourself a seat. We'll bring it out to you.
Except for the seat in the very back. That one's for Rosa.
And I almost forgot. If you'll take a glance at our iPad over there, we are
Just gonna ask you a couple questions here.
If you have to go back 200 years to find a period in history in which your party was not racist, and as of last week, people in your party in a group chat talking about dozens of ways in which they want to kill black people. You expect people to ignore what's happening today? Let me get this history straight. There was a period of our history in which the Republican Party was the freedom fighting party. When did that change?
Notice how it's wrong for Nick Cannon to go back 400 years or whatever. But in their very minds, Black American history starts back 400 years. Like, you live on that same time period that you're telling him he can't stand on right now. It's crazy.
You might ask. Little mini history lesson. At the end of Reconstruction and the beginning of Jim Crow, where you did have a Democratic South that was, in fact, very racist, that had the one-party primaries and put in place those poll taxes, those literacy tests, and use violence to scare and intimidate and murder people for even having the gall to want to vote. That happened. That is for real. And then you had the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the 1965 Voting Rights Act. This is when we had the shift in party dynamics. This is when you had a Democratic Party now that pushed through that legislation, that got that legislation signed because of the hard work and effort of Black people and the civil rights movement that pushed them to do it.
I'm pretty sure more Republicans actually voted for it than Democrats. That is actually a mistelling of history. This is why they were called Dixiecrats, because it was the Democrats who were against Black people at that time, which is also why you have to sell the idea of a political switch, right? Which, when they tell you that the party switched, they can never really name a list of people who prominently like switched parties, who dragged their caucus along to the other side with them, because the parties didn't switch. You know who switched? You niggas switched. That's who switched. Black people switched. Black people, they gave up on the party that fought slavery, that fought against the Democrats to end slavery. They gave up on the Republican Party because the Democrats offered them civil rights and welfare. Yeah, MLK was a Republican. If MLK was a Republican at the time, what do you think most Black people were? The parties did not switch. You niggas switched up. Don't tell me I switched up on you. I was who I was before you got here. You switched up on me.
We used our political organizing, movement, and strategy in order to push them to do it, and they did it. But once they did it, you had a mass exodus from the Democratic Party of a far-right racist elements that then became Republicans. That became the end of Democratic rule of the South. And ironic,
Black people switch parties for welfare, government jobs, and social programs. That is the reality of the government switch, the political switch that they really can't address, because that's really, in practical matters, the biggest voting bloc ever is Black America. You know, maybe up until recently, Latinos, you know, who knows how that's going to play out, but Black people voting as a huge, solid bloc for the Democrats started after the Civil Rights era. That is the only real visible political switch. And so when we went to school, you have to understand they lied to us deeply about what really happened back then, because chances are your teacher was a retired hipster, or a hippie rather, and the books were written by Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. Like, the whole thing was a great fiction.
Ever since then, you've not had a Democratic presidential candidate get the majority of the white vote since the 1964 Civil Rights Act. This is a fact. Every presidential election since then, the majority of the white population has voted against the Democratic Party. So you can miss me with that mess about the Republicans fought slavery. Well, don't you know that the Republicans been fighting me since 1963, 64, 65, all the way up till today? If you have to go back 200 years to find a period in history in which your party was not racist, and as of last week, people in your party in a group chat talking about dozens of ways in which they want to kill Black people, you expect people to ignore what's happening today? Let me get this history straight. There was a period.
It's really disappointing watching Nick Cannon and Chili from TLC go the whole basically Republican Trump route. But then again, if there's a group of people that are 1,000,000% gonna let you down, it's rich Black people. They always going to choose the money over their own people and culture any day because they don't want to lose what they got. It's sad, but when they cry out for help, we just gonna sit back and watch, because You chose to sold out your own people for what? For a group of people that don't give a damn about you? Okay, have it your way. It's really disappointing.
I want to talk about what Nick Cannon said about the KKK and the Democratic Party, because I'm not here to bash Nick Cannon, but I'm here to correct Nick Cannon. And Nick, I hope you received this very, very well. In the late 1800s, Southern Democrats were absolutely the party of the KKK, 100%. They believed in slavery. They wanted Black people to remain slaves and have no rights. In the North, the Republicans, the party of Lincoln, had abolitionists and people wanted people that wanted to have see Black people have rights. That is the truth. But here's the part that everybody leaves out. In the 1960s, Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Those two pieces of legislation drove the majority of the racists out of the Democratic Party to the Republican Party. And that's the shift in the part that
No, it drove the majority of Black people into the Democrat Party. As Lyndon Johnson said, we're going to have these niggas voting Democrat for 200 years. We're not even 100 years in yet. You got a long way to go.
Body leaves out, because that was a huge political shift in this country. And what that's called is party realignment, right? Where the ideas of a political party switch. Political parties are not static. They can change over time and the ideas can shift. And so that was a huge shift in the Republican and Democratic Party. After that, the racists tend to lean more conservative and be part of the Republican Party. And
other than pretending to like Black people, what ideas really shifted? What ideas really switched? The Democrats always had the progressive wing, the social justice wing of their party. They never switched. They just had to pretend to like Black people in the biggest grift maneuver in political history.
The Democrats now in the South, when segregation was gone, still contained a large number of Black people that voted Democrat. So, Nick, what you said is partly correct, but it's not all the truth. And when celebrities and public figures get online and say these types of things, you think that you're just saying, information that you're dropping, but you're also a megaphone yourself. You are, in a sense, a media platform. And a lot of people hear that and they see that and run with it. And so, yes, the Ku Klux Klan was strongly Democratic and conservative. It shifted when Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act of 1964 and 5. The majority of the racists left the party and went to the Republicans. And here we are now. So please, guys, just continue to read everything, all the information. Don't take sound bites and just believe things for yourself. But yeah, we got to do better.
Communism has been directing our foreign policy, our suicidal foreign policy, if you please.
In season 1, when we talked about Joseph McCarthy, who tried to weed out communism from American government and American institutions, history proved him to be correct. But a lot of those communists were able to come into the government by way of the FDR administration.
As Americans, you have a right, a legal and constitutional right, to call yourselves communists.
I'm going to need you to keep that in mind in this episode, because we are going to be briefly delving into party history. We're going to be looking at the Republicans and Democrats over the course of the 20th century and show that they were both suffering a kind of identity crisis in the middle part of the 20th century. And we're going to be busting this myth that MLK was a Republican and showing that he was more committed and more loyal to something far more nefarious and deeper than party politics.
May 1st, 1962. Lamont Harris commented to the effect that Stanley Levison, by reason of his association with the Martin Luther King movement, is doing the most important work in the Communist Party today. Harris remarked jubilantly that by reason of the administration's being politically dependent upon the Martin Luther King movement, which can swing the balance of power in the South, the party has the Kennedys in its pocket.
Did you know Dr. Martin Luther King was a Republican? Didn't know that, did you, dummy?
Martin Luther King was a Republican.
This is an MLK moment.
I have a dream. Martin Luther King Jr.'s immortal words.
Today, while there's this useless tug of war between Republicans and Democrats, each laying claim to the legacy of MLK, they all make the first mistake of looking at history through the misleading lens of hyperpartisanship.
Please keep Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s name out of your mouths.
How about we'll quote whoever we want to quote?
When you understand how Marxism works and how it uses the most able and susceptible catalyst, you begin to understand how complicated this history really is.
From the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. In short, the communists everywhere support every revolutionary movement against the existing social and political order of things. In all these movements, they bring to the front, as the leading question in each, the property question, no matter what its degree of development at the time. They labor everywhere for the union and agreement of the democratic parties of all countries.
I think the public is now awakened to the fact that we have to have two parties, we have to have two positions. In fact,
by the early to mid 60s, the Republican Party really began to solidify itself as a conservative party as Barry Goldwater drew a line in the sand.
I think the time is approaching when we have to stop fooling ourselves in the Republican Party. Historically, it's been the conservative who's perfectly willing to go along with the liberal. He'll give in to him, he'll work for him, raise money for him. I think the time has come when we just have to honestly ask ourselves, are we Republican-minded in the historic sense of the term? Or wouldn't I be better off if I were with the Democrats? And we have Republicans in both houses who have given the Democrats victories in fields that the Republicans have no right to be in.
Goldwater and others like him knew that the civil rights legislation that Kennedy had introduced was unconstitutional. And as a result of this, Goldwater made his intentions to vote against the bill known.
You have a Goldwater in the Republican Party who will come down south and make a speech and say that the Supreme Court's decision isn't the law of the land, and who just yesterday made it clear that he's not sure whether he will support civil rights legislation.
Congress starts these hearings in this group called the Klan. And they have hearings, and so they bring in Democrat leaders that under oath from these Democrat states said, yes, the Klan belongs to our party. It's actually in Congress, unequivocally. Democrats say the Klan is ours and belongs to us. It's there to restore Democrat control in the southern states. Those guys who lived through it made it very clear.
So there you have it, historical fact.
Shout out to True Hype with the $10. He said prominent Dems had a mentor that was a Grand Dragon or Wizard of the 3Ks as recently as the 90s. One was president, but can't name one person's name that switched the Southern switch. Big facts. Nobody can really define or describe the Democrat Party switch beyond Black people. I'm telling you, that is the biggest group of people that actually switched. If anything switched back then, it was Black people. It wasn't the parties. People were talking about I think Freeman just mentioned Louisiana had a Democrat governor until like the 90s. Louisiana didn't have a Republican senator until 2005. There is no switch. Nobody switched up but you niggas. Black people switched up for government jobs, for welfare, and for social programs. And now it's basically become the death of our community. It's crazy how that worked.
I'm telling you, man, this the reason why I be hating niggas, man. I'm telling you, man. It just be us. I be hating niggas, man.
And True Hype again with the 5-ball. Ask those same folks who sent the National Guard for the little black girl in Arkansas and integration. It was Eisenhower, and he wasn't a Democrat. Eisenhower desegregated the schools at gunpoint. Are you telling me it was a Republican who sent National Guard soldiers with bayonets. You know what a bayonet is? It's a long knife at the end of your rifle. And if you watch a lot of those desegregation photos, they were using those long knives at the end of the rifle to keep the white people back. They had to desegregate the schools at gunpoint. And that was a Republican. Wow. Shout out to True Hype with the Cash Apps. Appreciate y'all coming through. Smash that super chat button for me, y'all.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry! You not like Hulk angry! Hulk no like fighting girls.
There's history. There's, what the Democrats used to be, which obviously, slave owners, slave catchers, all the bad guys in Django were Democrats. You just put it that way, right? But that's what they used to be. What they are now is something incredibly worse. It's far worse, right? They've only gotten worse since they've owned the black vote.
My last question for you is going to be if you feel like you changed your mind when it came to Kamala Harris. Because you did once upon a time, you said, do not vote for Kamala. Do your research. It's not going to end in your favor. Do you still feel that same way?
At the time, like, I had just seen some stuff that was like, rubbed me the wrong way. I was just like, I ain't really agree with it. Like, and everybody entitled to their own opinion for sure. But I ain't agree with like just bringing like sexual shit to the kids. You know what I'm saying? That shit, like, I don't agree with that. Like, it's like weird to me. So at the time, I was just really speaking about that. And like, Shotty was already in office with Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? I was like doing my research on the policies and like how is they helping people? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all was just in office. They ain't really help nobody. Joe Biden up there sleeping, following orders. You know what I'm saying? But ain't no politician really. It's rare for a politician to be for the people. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't telling them to vote for nobody, but don't be blinded. You know what I'm saying? Think you're getting something that you're not. Like, don't think you're at the ice cream shop when you're really at the shit factory. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think it's gonna be, you gotta know what you sign up for. It look good, but like the agendas that's being pushed, they not really right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know what she backed by, and I don't want to get too political.
Yeah.
Basically, I ain't gonna lie. I shouldn't even say that though, for sure. Because now you see what's going on with
right,
and it's way worse.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
You
like,
want back in the day
I'm
before
definitely like,
Joe
damn,
Biden go to sleep. Yeah.
I promise you, I want to just, you know what I'm saying, redo that whole shit for sure. Like, I wouldn't even say nothing about none of them motherfuckers. I would say something about, nigga, all politicians is like corrupt. Like,
Yeah.
It's like they all have ulterior motives. You know what I'm saying? But one day it's gonna be a real president that's really for the people, and it's a simple thing. Like, if I was the president, I promise you, nigga, this should be everybody be getting a sense of relief. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for them to really get a people a sense of relief.
Run for president.
Sway Lee for president.
That's all I got to say. Sway Lee for president.
You can send $1 billion overseas.
Yeah.
We here. You know what I'm saying? These people starving on our streets. It's just like,
Right.
It's real simple, but yeah.
And see, a lot of the younger people on both sides are obviously kind of becoming disenfranchised with things. And especially young Black Democrats, that's really the sore spot for the left-wing movement. You got a lot of Black celebrities kind of looking at things and not really liking the direction things are going in, because a lot of people are just, they're taken to the internet. They're learning things that you're not really allowed to talk about in like mainstream Black discourse. Like this whole thing the other day came up with Ghana wanting reparations for the transatlantic slave trade, but y'all niggas did all the slaving that you want money for. It's like you got paid on the front end and you want to get paid again. This is crazy work. And y'all still doing that shit.
It's possible that I wasn't clear. It's also possible that, social media and people read what they want to read. So let me make this abundantly clear. Black Africans are bought and sold by the millions today by jihadists, by Arab Islamists today. Over 2 million Black Africans just in North Africa alone are bought and sold for as cheap as $200. This is called the trans-Saharan slave trade. It started in the 7th century when the Arabs began their conquest across North Africa, and it has not stopped. This is not a slavery that happened. It's a slavery that is happening. And the fact that the United Nations will make a big deal to draft a resolution about a slavery that ended almost 2 centuries ago, but still hasn't said anything about the current slave trade that's happening right now today as I speak to you. That is the height of hypocrisy. That's a dog and pony show. They are running cover for slavery, for modern day slavery. It's
You weren't supposed to know these things. Shout out to Mystery Enigma with the $2.33. He says that Eisenhower desegregated the military as a VP. The idea of a party switch is a lie. They never switched. You niggas switch. We have to just repeat that ad nauseum until people just accept it as truth. Because that's how you started believing this anyway. People just kept lying so much, it started to sound true.
I need that money.
I implore you, if you reach the big old age of Nicholas or Nick Cannon and you read a history book for the first time, I implore you to go talk to a friend about the history you just read, because you might be reading the first paragraph of history and then you get on the internet and you say stupid stuff. And I'm going to tell you something. This is what is called silly season, but it's also serious, because as we approach the midterms, we are going to get another wave of people like him tacitly, like very subtly supporting people like him. Remember Herschel Walker? Remember that goofy sheriff? I don't know where he was from. He used to wear that hat. And all those preachers that were in the White House putting their hands on this man.
And a lot of these people, all they can really do is like point fingers and say, white man bad, how dare you? But when it actually comes to facts and history, it gets a lot shakier for them. This is why they can't really argue with Nick. They just got to keep the lie alive.
What was that lady named? Diamond and Pearl or whatever. Those people, Diamond and Gold, whatever those two women were named. You're going to get silly people like that speaking out. Sometimes they're going to say, I support this man. And sometimes they're going to just say stupid stuff like this. And let me tell you something, sir. I implore you, do not homeschool those 15, 20 kids you have, because you don't know nothing. And that brings me to this person.
I'm not even gonna let this old nigga hate on my girl Chili from TLC. But speaking of homeschooling, right? This is why you gotta homeschool your kids. Because this nigga Mark is a professor. This nigga be teaching the youth, y'all. Shout out to the people who teach the youth. You got to take your kids away from them. The people who are teaching the youth are weird. And this is a big part of why so many black minds are just too far gone at this point, right? They've been too thoroughly indoctrinated. It would take something literally like a near-death experience to really maybe wake them up. Now is going to defend the idea of men being labeled as feminists. Shout out to Smarty Pants with the $2. Did you see the UN judge that had a slave? Yeah, that's actually maybe a year old by now. I did catch that story. That was a while back, but it was an African lady. I forget where. It was a West African lady, but she was some type of official, a judge in Europe somewhere, and she did get convicted of keeping a, quote, slave in her quarters somehow. I forget the details, but yeah, it's crazy work. Which is another point. Like, modern Africans aren't really opposed to slavery on any real moral ground. Don't let the niggas fool you. Modern Africans are not opposed to slavery as long as they get to hold the whip.
And I said it from the start, this is advanced darkness. This is heart of darkness. This is the jungle drum. This is the fertility goddess of chaos. They're literally going to eat your balls. They're going to cut your fucking nuts off and eat them.
Whoa, what? They're gonna what? But here's the question I want to ask you guys, though. Should men be called feminist? Why am I bringing this up? Because, this is what your children will be learning as a part of their Democrat public education curriculum. The question, I think, is always posed as like, why are you not a feminist? But I'm like, why don't I deserve rights too? Like, why do you assume that I somehow am superior to women? Like, what legally makes me superior to women at this point? Like, they just kind of keeping the lie alive that women are oppressed, and as men, you have to constantly give way to women because they've been oppressed by you, and you have to pay because you own that. The term for men is gay. That's the term for male feminist, gay. We always had this term, but we stopped using it out of politeness,
But I want to address this simping allegation. Do I simp for black women? Yes. I love black women. I don't like y'all niggas. This is an easy decision to make. Sorry.
All that, extra overt support for women, it starts to look black to women, right? Because feminist rights has some kind of parallels to black, right? Because to be female is to like be black because, you've been oppressed and shit. Because I guess the oppressed position is the bottom position, right? So to be black is to inherently be bottomed out. And you wonder why I get like intellectually uncomfortable around these niggas. Because intellectually, I haven't been bottomed out yet. And I don't want to, I don't want to approach that type of shit.
Yeah, what are they coming to church doing? Being gay!
How hard he's fighting for this idea. Like, he's fighting this like he's trying to free the slaves. The nigga Mark is fighting to be a male feminist with all the energy that he would use to free the slaves. Like, this is him as Harriet Tubman right now. Like no bullshit. This is his Harriet Tubman moment. He is trying to free you toxic masculine slaves to the patriarchy. He is trying to Harriet Tubman you nigga. Now here's the problem, right? Why can't you reverse the idea? Notice how white people are only supposed to support black people because, bottoms, but black people can't support white people ever, right? That is like literally shattering the paradigm of your entire left-wing position. So in your mind, you're always operating from the weak, bottomed out position. You're actually spreading the philosophy of bottomless philosophy. The nigga just stays down, and all men are allies to women, but women don't see themselves as allies to men. You see how you can't reverse it? You see how you can't like reverse the polarity without blowing up the whole circuit? Why is it that men are only ever compelled to be allies to women? How come women can't be allies to men? What if I need a bitch help every now and then? I can't get an ally with like, long hair and nice titties. Why I can't get an ally? How come I always have to be the ally? I don't even need all of them. A nigga only really need one.
The word femme, to me, it sounds feminine.
No, but what's the
And what's wrong with being feminine?
What about the
Mark, mute up.
And that's why we're making fun of you, Mark. And this is why we're calling you gay, Mark.
Yeah, what are they coming to church doing? Being gay!
These niggas trying to save Mark. Mark is going all off in all these crazy directions. He literally logics himself into being a woman. And this is incredible. This is why I really study a lot of like the thinkers, the big names on the left. You got to pay attention to where their heads are at, because there isn't a lot of real like gap ideologically between Mark up here and FD over here.
But I want to address this simping allegation. Do I simp for black women? Yes. I love black women. I don't like y'all niggas. This is an easy decision to make. Sorry.
What's wrong with being feminine?
What about the
Mark. To me, it sounds feminine.
No, but what's the
And what's wrong with being feminine?
What about the
to me, it sounds feminine.
No, but what's the
And what's wrong with being feminine?
What
What's wrong with being feminine? I told you, I was arguing with Cellulite Podcast earlier. Like I said, I had to go up there and make it awkward. Niggas be talking crazy. I had to go and make it awkward again. Like, stop being crazy, bro. Don't tell me I'm an extremist and then the next day you start talking exactly like me, saying shit that I said months ago. There is no middle ground. Because as soon as you find yourself comfortable staking out a nice, safe middle ground position, you're going to get a nigga like Mark over here. What's wrong with being feminine? You support women, don't you? If you support women, what's wrong with being feminine? Women are feminine. Why you can't be a feminine nigga that supports women? They're going to start forcing the logic on you. And the minute you break, the minute you blink, the minute you fold, either you're in the gang or you're out. And once you're out, you're all the way out. And now you're right back over here on my side with all the toxic, masculine, patriarchal bad guys who understand the very nature of the question is the problem with the question. Because biological reality is reality. Men are men and women are women. The feminine is a realm of the female. The masculine is a realm of the male. While there may be overlap on the fringes, we must maintain distinctions for the purpose of distinction. Once we lose that, we allow a nigga like Mark to obliterate the very distinction between men and women. And all this shit started because you niggas wanted to support women. What the hell does that even mean in 2026, bro? They don't need your support. You keep supporting them, and we're all going to be wondering what the hell is wrong with being feminine. You see, now Joe Budden did a real like liberal, general, I'm experienced in this argument move. Look, Joe Budden made him mute up. He shut the conversation down because once we get into the argument of it, you're going to look weak. And this is exactly the moment I was just having with Cellulite. I'm like, bro, once you start arguing, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because now you look weak. Now, listen, you just destroyed your own argument. And even Joe Budden, look, none of you niggas can defend the masculine point of view anymore because you didn't allow this fucking feminist teacher to be, the center of your world now. This nigga is your teacher now. He is your spirit animal now. Because you niggas all, you all want to fight the white man's patriarchy and all that shit. This is where fighting the white man's patriarchy takes you. Tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me if I missed a step on this journey. This is where, and this whole argument, this started on Cellulite's podcast a week ago, arguing with Angry Man and them about, this so-called white patriarchy. There is no kinder, gentler patriarchy. It either is or it ain't. You can quibble about certain details and cultural phenomenon and realities or whatever, but you have to just argue that it is or it ain't. Stop trying to destroy some other man's patriarchy, because now you're taking the patriarchy from under your own feet, and you wind up on a podcast with a nigga like Mark trying to convince you that we could all just be feminine. Yes, you have to embrace your black femininity to fight the white patriarchy. You know what? Let's run to something else real quick, because I was having a bit of a tiff this morning. Let's run over a little bit of game footage. Let's run over some game footage, because this shit had to come out. And I'm like, I'm listening to this nigga. After just yesterday, this nigga called me some type of extremist. Nigga tried to put me on a no. Yeah, I watch this. Like I'm a fucking extremist or some shit. It's crazy work.
God proprietor.
Nigga up here picking on Sharon Like, you was just sounding like this nigga, Bracy. Yo, like, I swear to God, this nigga was talking like Bracy when I came around. All of a sudden, everybody's not red pill when I show up. All of a sudden, the red pill is too extreme when I show up.
And if it wasn't for the position of the black woman as God proprietor, if it wasn't for the house that Daryl built, then hey, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at you. You're supposed to run the house that Daryl built. You're supposed to have the subscribers that Daryl was supposed to have. But uplifting black women is only going to get you so far. And I'm not saying anything as a slight towards black women. I'm talking about your position.
Now, remember, your position toward me, and I think I ran that video. I was restreaming that last night. Nigga got mad at me. Like, you can't say nothing about these women. You can't criticize these women. You can't talk bad about these women. These are good women. These are fine, pure, Jesus-loving women. Don't you say nothing bad about these women. Nigga got on my ass. Nigga was really, really trying to pick a fight with me about these goddamn women. Look at him now, though.
Angst against other black men when his household is not in order. He hides his hands and he positions himself as safe, progressive, and an ally inside the feminist movement, soaking up the likes and the support and the admiration and the simping points.
You were just being an ally, though. That's the crazy word. You were just being an ally. And I called you niggas out for it directly. You niggas are quoting feminist talking points, talking about the white patriarchy is mean and vicious. We're going to create a kinder, gentler, blacker, melanated patriarchy where women have rights and freedoms and all the equality and privileges of a man. What the hell are you niggas even talking about? But then you want to go over there and pick a fight with Sharon. Nigga, you was just being him.
But here's the part that they never say out loud. He's just waiting his turn to become cannon fodder for the very feminist goals that he's riding off of right now. And this is not about every brother. As I said, if it's not directed, it's not respected. The truth of the matter is that this is about the very specific ones who choose the temporary clout and female validation over building anything that lasts for black families.
And let's be direct. I direct all of my comments when I need to. I'm very direct. I'm so direct, I lose friends and allies for it sometimes. Sometimes you just got to be direct. Niggas be bullshitting.
Black legacy. They misrepresent the truth and spread misinformation that real black men protect and speak up for black women. And yet they sow seeds that does not produce black children.
Oh, I think I realized what he's just doing here. He's doing a I'm the better protector of black women thing over here. This is why I'm glad I made this shit awkward. This nigga really over here trying to call Sharon Bracy out for not protecting black women properly.
This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
This nigga Cell is Jim Keisha. He is Jim Keisha trying to make sure you niggas protect black women properly like you're supposed to.
Not only do they not sow seeds that does not produce black children, but even when people speak up in defense of this choice, I thought it was black family, now and forever. Apparently that's not true. But hey, when the Neanderthalitic and the loud hyena Strags of the black community needs a leader, they turn to the very thing that they hate the most, black men.
Now, mind you, I raised that exact point to you yesterday when you was trying to call me all extreme and shit. How is it that you tell niggas they supposed to have leadership, but they can't have a word, they can't have a say about nothing? They can't even criticize on the sideline. You niggas supposed to just sit there quietly, be like, yup, let that woman do her thing.
And they need one very specific, effeminate black man to peacock his way to the front of the line to be able to do this. And then eventually, there's this shock and awe when that same movement that helped them feed their mixed, broken family turns on them. There's a reality that kicks in. And this reality is very uncomfortable. But stick around. We're going to be breaking down the exact tactics that the slick, underhanded dialogue that Sharon Bracey and other effeminate men like himself, who positions himself as the champion of the hyena strag movement, and the real world examples playing out within the EBT space every single day. And why it is that someone like Sharon Bracey garners the responses that he gets. Because to get admiration and attention, you must lie, you must falsify, you must misinform, you must misrepresent. These simple things, such as pandering to the chat, pandering to your panelists, pandering to the money, lets me know that you really do not have any values of moral of self. You didn't even have any pride of self. Hence why it is that you selectively, specifically chose to offload responsibility and accountability onto someone else. And even in the midst of grace, this is who you black hyena strag women turn to represent you when it comes to challenging black male strength. This is exactly why someone like Sharon can't be trusted. While Sharon is out here talking about black community, black representation, black spaces, black pride, you have everything about you except what it is that you leave behind. But see, what Sharon doesn't understand is how funny it is that you are championed by black women who disrespect your mixed children. Yet today, I'm just letting you know right now, it's not going to be a very low temperature show. It's a very high temperature show, but I don't need to be cussing and fussing and yelling all out now. No. Today, I'm a slow walk through this cook session themselves. Statements like they see a strong black woman winning on her own and it threatens them. Me, I uplift black women first, but you have a white wife. And if it was,
there can be only one defender of black women. This is really like some Afro Samurai #1 headband type shit. Niggas are really gonna simp to the death for the #1 headband. Simp till you die, and whoever's remaining standing, that's who gets to protect black women.
Wasn't for the position of the black woman as God proprietor, If it wasn't for the house that Daryl built, then hey, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at you. You're supposed to run. The point behind all of this is that these, you said they call you a sellout. They call me a sellout. That's fine. I don't care. I wouldn't care if they call me a sellout. I know one thing that I don't do. I don't position myself in front of Black people and allow them to disrespect my children or my wife just because they love me. And because of this fact, that Sharon cannot address Black women that support him, who disrespect his white wife and his mixed children, Sharon Bracey cannot ever challenge Black women.
Now, Cell was ignoring me in the chat this whole time because I was calling a nigga out. I'm like, oh, so it's okay to challenge Black women now. Is that what we're doing now? I had no idea. You just told me that's not okay.
Brass Monkey says, but don't we want to end racism? How do we end it if we hate people for who they love? I don't know, Brass Monkey. You'd have to do me the favor of going to ask the question of why it is that Black women who sit on Sharon Bracey's panel say that white men are not allowed. No, not white men. White people are not allowed to be at the table when Black people are having a conversation. You see, Brass Monkey, the one thing I can tell you about myself and other men who have the same value and virtue that I do is that I'm not going to lie to you about open racism within the Black community. The truth of the matter is that in the Black community, which is racist as hell, they like to have comfortable conversations about the white people that they do not like within the comfort of their home. They want white people to be able to witness Black people disrespect them on a racial level, just as long as they don't be a part of the conversation.
Now, just the other day, you were telling me that as a man, you don't worry about what these women do, right? I remember just the other day, Sal was telling me, I don't worry about these women. That's you manosphere niggas. That's you manosphere niggas worried about what women do. Sal was like, no, I'm a man. I don't have to worry about women. But here you are trying to call out Black women for being racist. I thought you don't worry about what these women do. Let the Black women be racist, bro. You a Black man. Who are you to call out Black women's racism? And this is the exact point I was trying to make about the nigga. Like, yo, the same argument that you're using to attack somebody is actually the argument you're going to want to stand on at some point. These niggas got nothing. These niggas got no reason to criticize, to complain about nothing. Then here you go. Now I feel like I can criticize and I can complain. Who the fuck are you now? You the same as these niggas. You a Black man just like everybody else you say who shouldn't be complaining about Black women. But here you go. Oh, they're racist. Look how they talk about Sharon's white wife. So what?
Almond says marrying outside your race is not going to end racism. Just because you have relationships with the opposite race does not mean that you're ending racism. But question from the Black women. This is air. Why do some Black men hate on Black women who talk about marriage and fatherhood? Because those dudes are insecure. They see a strong Black woman winning on her own. No.
Now, again, the last interaction you had with me, like not even a whole 12 hours ago, you trying to tell me niggas got no right to talk about women, can't be criticizing women. Women. Look at this nigga go, criticizing the women of Sharon's house. This nigga up here criticizing the women of Brewster Place now. All of a sudden, when you got a problem, it's cool.
That's not how that works. Then privately, once the cameras are off, Sharon will then have to go act like none of what was said about black men applies to him. This is the miscongeniality type of movie that is going on. The sad thing is that this is a welcomed notion when it comes to someone who position themselves like Sharon to be a leader of this campaign of the feminist movement. And one day, shortly, it will come. They turned on Daryl. They turned on Angry Man. They turned on Kevin. They turned on Obsidian. They turned on O'Shea. They turned on a lot of black men. You know why? Because the moment that these black men start speaking the truth, these black women felt very uncomfortable. But they are perfectly comfortable with you, Sharon. They're perfectly comfortable with you. But you know, moving right along, as I'm listening to Sharon's show today, one still has not verified that someone actually called his family. Because the opportunity to hold himself in accountability to remove Israel Mills, also known as Izzy Bands, from the conversation of being someone who potentially called his family, he doesn't want to do that. He'd rather keep it out in the open. So you have crash outs like Kulu, who will then travel to other people's spaces and then try to invite them to their house and put their family in danger, all because they have been led by misrepresented misinformation.
Misrepresented. We've been misrepresented. We've been bamboozled. We've been hoodwinked.
The sad part is that you even have a mixed woman on the panel who disagrees with black men just because she got cussed out and she didn't like how she got cussed out.
No, notice how this is like all over the place. Again, when I show up, niggas hate the manosphere. Niggas hate, you men be talking this and you men be talking that. Soon as I leave, all of a sudden, look how she talks about men. Look how they disrespect men. Look how crazy these women act. Why are these women so racist? What they got? Why they got such a crazy problem with Becky? Soon as I disappear, niggas red pills grow.
You have a mixed woman who speaks openly about hedonism.
Oh, when we were talking about that goddamn Houston rodeo, when we were talking about the Houston rodeo, all that hedonism talk was no go. You didn't want to do it. You didn't want to talk about hedonism. You didn't want to talk about all that. Oh, let the women do what they want to do. Let these women live. I don't worry about the women. Why you niggas worried about women all the time? Now you want to talk about who? A hedonistic woman.
And always have angst about black men. And yet you are championing a black man. Deborah says, yes, he lies a lot. And
let me show you something.
The women is going to do what they want to do. I don't even see the point in even having a whole entire diatribal conversations about the women doing this, the women doing that, the women doing this, the women doing that. If a person wants to do it, then by all means, please, by all means, do it. But my thing is this, though. For all the dudes that were saying, yeah, I had my kids out there. Well, you the one that went out there. Well, it was supposed to be a family friend. Listen, a lot of things get labeled as family friendly.
That's interesting.
And yet you are championing a black man. About hedonism. Woman. You have a mixed woman who speaks openly about hedonism. And always have angst about black men. And yet you are championing a black man.
How you gonna hate on a nigga for being you better than you? That's really what I think is happening. Don't hate on a nigga for being you better than you. That's the you problem, nigga.
Doing that. Women is going to do what they want to do. I don't even.
Just what? Just let them be. When the rodeo comes up, you're not supposed to criticize that obvious thing that went well beyond the bounds of just black culture. Now it's just a news thing. It's a viral thing now. And somehow these two things are unconnected to you. The fact that you don't want black men to actually have a voice to say to the women directly, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing X, Y, Z. And now that they're all caught crazy in public, nobody's supposed to say nothing. And just what? Just let them be?
So the rodeo thing, right? This is my position on the rodeo. The women is going to do what they want to do. I don't even see the point in even having a whole entire diatribal conversations about the women doing this, the women doing that, the women doing this, the women doing that. If a person wants to do it, then by all means, please, by all means, do it. But my thing is this, though. For all the dudes that were saying, yeah, I had my kids out there. Well, you the one that went out there. Well, it was supposed to be a family friend. Listen, a lot of things get labeled as family friendly. You the one that took your kids there. So at the same time.
Now, it sounds like we're softening the base concept of morality so we can give women coverage. So we can give women coverage to misbehave. No. Now there's no concept of morality no more. No, it's no longer a family-friendly thing. It's you shouldn't even bring your kids here. You know they're going to be twerking. What kind of shit is that?
But my thing is, so we acting like ass and titties is something new.
Ass and titties is black female culture, and it must be defended at every level. Shout out to True Hype with the 5-ball. This is the main issue when you aren't intellectually consistent. You get multiple moments like this. Just speak the truth and be hated for it. Why is it that I say that? There is no middle ground. At some point, you're going to say something very plain and logical that runs afoul of all the progressive sensibilities, and you're going to be stuck without any friends. And the only people that even agree with you are the people that you've been shitting on for the last who knows how long. There is no middle ground. There's true and untrue and how you feel about it. But true and untrue are going to remain the same. How you feel about it changes depending on how you feel about it. Shout out to True Hype with the 5-ball, though. Appreciate y'all coming through. Hit that like button, y'all. We are not done yet.
I need that money.
And then Red Hot Pepper Boy with the $2, a walking contradiction. Listen, I might get things wrong every now and then. I do not pretend to be the all-wise, all-knowing. But if you catch me wrong, if you can prove me wrong in a simple just showing me the facts, I'm going to back off the point for the most part. I'm going to fight for my points until I'm proven wrong. That's just how it is. But what I realize is that not everybody has a tested vision of things, right? They don't have a tested view. They haven't thrown their ideas against the brutality of disagreement and the real world. And so they hold on to beliefs, and sometimes they hold on to multiple beliefs depending on the moment and who they're talking to. All I have is what I believe. And it doesn't change because you get mad at me. But shout out to Red Hot Pepper Boy. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Good to see you, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. Hit that like button, like, share, and subscribe. Do all the things, y'all. All of the things.
Give me the money. Give me the money for all that I would do. Give me the money.
Apparently, it's new to the Houston rodeo. That's why it made the news. That's why they were talking about it.
Is ass and titties new to was ass and titties new to the Freak Nick? Was ass and titties
the Freak Nick?
Man, look, now again, lack of moral clarity. That's a whole other parallel discussion we could be having right now. Because of the nature of just the way discourse is handled in Black America and the things that are just commonly held beliefs, what I've come to realize is that by and large, there is a huge gaping lack of moral clarity when you wind up in discussion with people about various things. And sometimes you kind of have to, peel back the layers a little bit to get to the heart of an issue, but then you'll run right into what I would call a moral inconsistency, right? You can, on the one hand, believe that men have some type of role as protectors or leaders or anything, but then on the other hand, believe men have no say over things like public displays and hedonism, as we were just talking about here, like the whole Houston rodeo thing. Like the news can talk about Black women, but Black men can't talk about Black women. And then because of your unwillingness to look at things square in the eye, you now have to soften what we consider truth and reality when it comes to all other issues as well. Because now, think of it like this, right? The weakest link in a chain. The weakest link in the chain breaks the chain, right? So you have to actually have logic that is solid and consistent at every link in the chain. When you're confronted with weak links in the chain, you have to strengthen them up. Maybe you replace that link with something better. But for the sake of, I love women, I'm a supporter of women, I protect women, all the links in my chain are weak now. And hedonism runs amok. And there's no such thing as decency. There's no such thing as a family-friendly event because I support women.
No, it was just Freak Nick. It was never billed. It was never billed as family friendly.
Was ass and titties new to the block club? Was ass and titties new to the barbecue? Was ass and titties new to the club? Was ass and titties new to the restaurant?
Wait, Phil. Are you telling me that everything involving Black people is ass and titties? That's a Black people problem that should be talked about since you don't want to talk about Black people.
And not only that, speaking of the Freak Nick Dolomite, that's a great point. Do you know why they don't Freak Nick anymore? Because you niggas freak too hard in public. You niggas you did a lot of aggressive criminal freaking, and they were like, you know what? If we let these niggas run amok, it's just going to turn into a giant roving band of debauchery. We cannot have women being aggressively freaked illegally in public. This is what wound up happening because of unchecked, uncontrolled hedonism. That's literally what happened at Freaknik. First couple of years, it was, oh, cool, girls in bikinis. Oh, look at that girl over there twerking. A year or two later, they were naked twerking on the car as it drove down I-695 or 495, whatever they got in Georgia. And then a couple of years after that, they were straight up having public sexual displays. It was strip club behavior in the public. It was strip club behavior on your main street. Wherever the Blacks could crowd and gather, there was strip club sexual displays. Bottles were inserted. Credit cards were swiped way before the tip drill video. This is why they shut down the Freaknik, because you niggas don't understand why hedonism, uncontrolled, unchecked hedonism, is a bad thing. And then what is the defense for it? Let the women do what they want, right? Do as thou willst, right? Do as thou willst. Isn't that the line? Do what you want. Do as thou willst. Why does that sound so eerily familiar? When he said, let the girls do what they want, It reminded me of something. Do as thou willst. Why does that sound so eerily familiar? It seems like the path to hell is letting girls do what you want.
Wasn't new to the rodeo though, Hood. That they, if you,
That was my point. That was my point.
Hold on. Listen.
He skipped over that, not me.
No, Hood. Okay, so listen, right? Ever since, I don't know if you watched Dukes of Hazzard back in the 80s. Was you watching that TV show, right? With the little skinny white girl with the Daisy Dukes on? They've always
Daisy Dukes on, yes.
Oh, hold on. They've always had that. The white girls' buns ain't like the sisters' buns. That's the only issue. The only issue is that they invited that. They asked for that. They've always had that. These women that was on there complaining, they was wearing the same outfits when they was 32 and 25.
Hey. If you got more ass, you need more cloth. You got more skin to cover more skin.
So hold up. So Hood, let me ask you a question. Them black girls came out there showing them to them little white kids, 12, 13-year-olds. They walk around rock hard like a mug.
And by the way, I like how all you niggas skated past that statement I made about niggas wanting to be treated like white women.
Oh no, I ain't skated past it. I just laughed at it.
Thank you. Now we right back. Now we right back to.
Look, Free Zone Lou, great point. It's wild because Sharon probably made those same arguments that Will made, but he was cooking Sharon for. You know what? Never mind. Will is mad at Sharon because Sharon is a better Will than Will. That's really what's going on here. This is some Highlander shit. The nigga's the better you than you, bro. I don't even know how to help you. I don't even know how to advise a nigga. How do I help a nigga be a better him? Is it my fault that he's a better you than you? What do you even do with that? This is really why the nigga was mad today. He was watching Sharon. He like, that should be me. That should be me. How come the nigga's better at being me than I am? What this nigga got that I ain't got? And I got a black wife. He mad because he got a whole black wife and they still can't come over there. He's being a better you than you. You just got to own up to it. Maybe you should get a white wife too. I don't know the rules. I don't know how anything works. I just be trying shit. I just be trying things and figuring out what sticks and what don't.
Good callback, because exactly where we are now. You want to be like the white women, but I thought black men should have some type of say about how black people are represented, or maybe
absolutely. No. You should, hey, listen, go ahead. But my thing is, and see, now I'm not rehashing Angry Man's own point, but now I got to reuse Angry Man's point. Am I supposed to agree with you just because you're a black man? Go ahead, take your time.
You don't have to agree with the black women. Just
hold on, wait. Time out. Hold on, wait.
Right. You don't want to agree with me because I'm a man. Cool, fine. But don't agree with them just because they're black women either. How are you morally superior with that false equivalency? You don't want to agree with me because I'm a man, but you'll agree with the women because they're black women.
But if man had to find out that his God was a woman,
I say the black woman is God, and
black woman is God.
I say the black woman is God.
The black woman is God because, she was the first organism on this planet.
And here you go trying to call him out because he got a white wife and all of that shit. Yeah, that's cool. It's great and all. But actually, he's just doing a better job of caping for black women than you are. His cape for black women is so strong, he can hide a whole white women under it. And that shit burns you up. The nigga Sharon can hide a white woman under his black woman cape, and they love him more than they love you. That's really what I'm getting here. That's really what burns you up. They love him more than they love you, and you actually married a black woman. You got you a whole sister girl, neck rolling, finger snapping, curse a nigga out for no good reason. You got you an authentically black woman, and they love him with his hidden white wife. The nigga tucked his white wife under that same cape he be using for black women, and they forgave him. They forgive him, nigga, and that shit stings, don't it?
Wait, hold on. Come on, hold on. Wait. No, be quiet for a second. Everybody be quiet for a second. Hold on. Everybody be quiet for a second. New phone, who this?
And
I need you to catch what I'm doing. I'm doing it for a purpose.
The nigga now when I called him on that shit today, because mind you, I just played footage from last night. I rebroadcast that on my show last night. Now, just an hour or two before I started up this stream, I was up there listening to Cell. I'm like, oh, this nigga just did a whole about face after he got the nerve to get all fucking big chested with me and shit. These niggas, all they do is talk about the women. Let them twerk. Let her twerk. This nigga was going at it with me yesterday, but now all of a sudden, you singing a different tune? I don't get it.
Now, Sal, I've been listening quietly, and I'm not even gonna go ham on you because I don't got no beef with you. No, it ain't even like a personal dislike type of thing. But you know what you did, you know what you said, and you know you said it already. You totally doing the 180 from everything you said yesterday, like not even a whole 12 hours ago. Nigga didn't even get a proper sleep on this shit, and he changed his mind.
Conservative. I need you to catch what I'm doing. I'm doing it for a purpose.
All you doing is you calling out his white wife. Yeah, yes, bro. The nigga can cape for black women and have a non-black wife. Yeah, bro. Cape harder, nigga. Cape hard. You need to hit the gym, do some simping pull-ups, some simping push-ups, do some simp lift and some simp thrust. You need to cape harder. Don't be jealous of that. How you gonna watch another man cape? The nerve of these niggas. This nigga over here cape watching. You mad because he got a white wife and he caping for black women, and that shit is working for him way more than your caping is working for you. Cape watching ass nigga. I done found a whole new level of hatred for niggas. We just coined a whole new thing. I feel like I discovered an undiscovered element today. These niggas be cape watching, bro.
I'm telling you, man. This the reason why I be hating niggas, man. I'm telling you, man. It just be us. I be hating niggas, man.
So you could cape for black women against me, and it's wrong. But Sharon is caping for black women. I mean, you could cape for black women, and that's okay. But Sharon can't cape for black women. Why are you worried about his cape? Let that nigga cape. Let him cape how he be caping, bro. I think a nigga gotta watch his own cape. What you tuck the white woman under your cape and you think you special? The nigga's doing it bigger than you. That nigga cape is extended around more black women than yours has, nigga. Hey, you niggas is a little bit. Listen. The audience will speak for itself. I neither support nor challenge the views of my audience. The views of my listening audience belong to the audience independently. So when Red Hot Pepper Boy says he's being controlled by a woman who ain't cute, maybe that's why you looking under another nigga cape. I don't know. My audience be saying they be saying crazy type shit. He's saying you being controlled by a woman who ain't cute. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what this nigga talking about.
Nigga, please. Serious.
When I die, I'ma go to Snow Bunny Heaven. Snow Bunny Heaven.
Right. Listen, if Nick Cannon can have a plethora of lightly and heavily melanated, I don't even think none of Nick Cannon baby mamas passed the paper bag test. I don't think not one of Nick Cannon's baby mamas passed the paper bag test. That nigga caped for black women. I think Sal didn't get the message. And you know, later on, this came up in the conversation too. Like, listen, Sal, I don't think having a white wife is enough to get you canceled. The nigga got a solid gold cape. That's really what it is. He is wrapping a solid gold cape around black women, and they will let him tuck his white wife under that solid gold cape as long as he's extending it over black women. And I feel like Sal is having a hard time coming to grips with that. The nigga over there like, how come my caping don't work? My cape is good too. Mama told me that all I had to do was cape and be good. Just be myself in my cape and they will love me. That's not how it worked, bro. That's not how this caping shit work. There's caping and then there's caping. And if you're caping and get you to the level of love and support that another nigga's caping did, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to help a nigga that's cape watching another nigga. Get your cape up, nigga. How about that? Get your cape up instead of worrying about who another nigga married.
I'm just saying.
I got you, but I need you to catch what I'm doing, and I'm doing it for a purpose.
I hear you.
Okay,
I
give
hear
me 1
you.
second. Shout out to the angry man with Tanas. He says, bro, did you see everyone's reaction when I said ninjas want to be treated like white women? Exactly. Angry man catches it. LA caught it. Almond caught it. I need you to think with I need you to use your pineal gland on this one, Hood Conservative.
Nigga think he being mysterious and third eye minded and shit. You got a fitted hat over your third eye. Nigga, you put a whole fitted cap over your third eye. Don't talk this third eye shit to me, nigga. Your third eye is covered up. Stop acting like you deep. Stop acting like you on a whole other wavelength. Like this nigga is simping in the fifth dimension. These niggas, they really think they're amazing. Like you own some other shit that nobody else can figure out. No, you a hypocritical nigga. And your audience like you. So audiences that like you are always going to call out your bullshit. But see, my audience is different. I want you guys to call out my bullshit. If ever I get caught bullshitting, I give you all permission to call it out. I need you to keep me honest, all right? If you ever catch me cape watching, I need you to call me a caper hater to my face, okay? Niggas be doing the most, acting like they got some grand scheme and shit. Like, no, nigga, this is called game. This is how game works. You're saying a whole lot of nothings to a pliable audience, bro. No. You're not gonna hit me with that bullshit. Niggas be up there caper hating and act like I can't see that shit.
And if you don't, I'm not against you. Because this is a 180 from everything I said yesterday. But it's
and I'm not a third eye nigga. I'm very direct and on the surface with it.
Oh, listen, I need you to look under the surface. Because I'm attacking what's under the surface, not what's on the surface. But I have no problem against anything that you have to say.
And like I said, I'm not even up here to make like some scathing, cutting personal attack on you, but I'm just saying, you know I'm not really wrong. You just don't like how I sound when I say the shit because you aren't actually making a forthright delivery of the type of things I say. Steel manning the fuck out of me right now. So you know I'm not really wrong. I'm just a dick about it. And I refuse to be quiet about it because like I said, there is no middle ground. Saying these things nicely and softly doesn't get you that many more cookies.
Absolutely. But here's the thing.
Now, mind you, he called me out for being some type of extremist or whatever. I just talk extreme. I have very moderate views, I think. I mean, I'm not even on, like, you know who's extreme? The Taliban. That's who's extreme. I'm not even going that far. I just talk, I got a big mouth. That's what I have. I have a big mouth and my nuts drag every now and then. I have personal afflictions I'm struggling with, all right? It's hard being me sometimes.
I don't need to cuss Sharon out because it's not going to change anything. And even me saying it nicely is not going to change anything. This is why I said all I have to do is sit back and wait. Like Deborah said. Deborah says, look what happened to that guy Josh over there. When he first came on the panel, he was very conservative. Between Sharon, Bomb Cherry, and PH Diva, he got sucked in and is now fully cucked. It's only a matter of time, bro. And when these men over there eventually wake up and they get their real nigga wake up call, and everybody comes to the realization that the black women on Sharon's channel actually don't support him because of the fact that he has a white wife.
Now, mind you, why are you calling out black women? Really, why are you trying to call out black women, bro? I thought you just let the women be, bro. I thought your biggest gripe, I thought your biggest gripe was these niggas always talking about the women. You niggas, you only get together to hate on women. All you ever do is bash women. All you ever do is talk crazy about women.
But something like that, you're going to take that position, especially bringing up the rodeo, right? How is it that black men are charged with some kind of theoretical leadership role, But then when something like the rodeo comes up, you're not supposed to criticize that obvious thing that went well beyond the bounds of just black culture. Now it's just a news thing. It's a viral thing now. And somehow these two things are unconnected to you. The fact that you don't want black men to actually have a voice to say to the women directly, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing X, Y, Z. And now that they're all caught crazy in public, nobody's supposed to say nothing and just what? Just let them be?
So the rodeo thing, right? This is my position on the rodeo. The women is going to do what they want to do. I don't even see the point in even having a whole entire diatribal conversations about the women doing this, the women doing that, the women doing this, the women doing that. If a person wants to do it, then by all means, please, by all means, do it. But and everybody comes to the realization that the black women on Sharon's channel actually don't support him because of the fact that he has a white wife.
The women doing this and the women doing that. Hey, listen, if they want to hate on his white wife, let them do it. If they want to support him and hate his white wife at the same damn time, let them do it. If they have a hypocritical, self-indulgent, very a usurious nature about them, if they just want to take advantage of a gullible nigga who's way too in touch with his feminine side, let them do it, right? Right, the women are gonna women, right? Let them do it, right? Who are you? Who, by the same token, by the same tone that you took with me, who are you to tell these women anything? Who the fuck are you now? And this is exactly the point I was making to him before. As you tell these other men they have no right to say anything, you have to shut up at some point. You have to muzzle yourself at some point. You have to remind yourself that I'm just a nigga and I have no right to say anything. But look at you go now. Look at you now.
Over there, eventually wake up and they get their real nigga wake up call. And everybody comes to the realization that the black women on Sharon's channel actually don't support him because of the fact that he has a white wife. It's going to be the downfall for him.
I don't even think that matters.
Oh, no, it matters.
I mean, yeah, you're right in that there's just a general disapproval of the whole black male, white woman thing. They rather you be with a Latina before a white girl, honestly. But I don't even think it matters as much as you're saying, in the sense that as long as you're useful for the cause, they will tolerate all kind of shortcomings.
And there it is. Sharon got a solid gold cape, and this nigga cellulite running around here with aluminum foil. That's really what his whole criticism of Sharon boils down to. Because it's not like you don't want to protect black women. It's not like you don't want to cover their image up. It's not like you don't want to just ignore all the hedonism that we were talking about the other right. You want to ignore all the bad things. You want everybody else to be quiet about it. You just hate the fact that his cape is shinier than yours. He got more hoes under his cape and a white wife. All you got under your cape is your one woman, and it seems lonely under there. It's just you and your wife under your cape, and you're looking lonely. You want more women under your cape? Is that what it is? Do you need more women under your cape? Sharon got his wife. He got his whole 12 female bitter bitch apostles, and you over here looking lonely. It's just you and Raw B and all this caping you got. All this caping you got, and you just got your wife. Meanwhile, this nigga has an abundance of women. You got women coming out of the woodworks to get under his cape. How come they not under your cape? How come it's just you and your lonely wife under your cape? I feel like the nigga has cape jealousy. The nigga is suffering. This is like cape envy. I really think it is. I really think the nigga has cape envy. You watching another nigga cape and you like, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit at all.
But now
you can be. You remember what you just said about Corey Holcomb? You could slap a chick in the face, bro. You could punch a chick dead in the jaw. Long as you're useful for their cause, they will forgive.
But you just exposed my next point, and this was my next point, and I'm glad the Angry Man is watching. You said they're more acceptable of a Latina than a white wife. So do they truly hate Angry Man? Do they truly got hate for Angry Man, even though that his wife's a Latino?
Yeah. Not like that. Not like that.
Exactly. They don't like Angry Man, but they love the fact that they're okay with the fact that he has a Latino wife. But as long as Sharon will champion himself as being the Hainel Strag champion, right? They're going to support him because he's going after the Angry Man. But the moment if Sharon ever repeats or believes in any red pill, manosphere, Angry Man rhetoric, it's going to be over.
But you too are against Angry Man. I mean, you too are against manosphere, red pill rhetoric. That's the thing. Like anytime I come around, this nigga want to fight the red pill. So, like, how is he any different from you in the grand scheme of things? You are both of you you are on the other side of the fence against the red pill in your own respective right. But from what I can tell, his cape is shinier than yours, and he got a lot more women under it. You got a lonely cape.
They're gonna shit on him like the goddamn gorillas from the damn top of the tree.
Isn't that the exact argument I was making to you guys on a previous, like 2 arguments ago?
And this is where it's about to get awkward. Because I told you, listen, you got to be careful how you go at people, because as you cut the floor from under him, you leave yourself no good place to stand, okay? There is no clean place to stand in a bloodbath. You have to be careful about who you attack and how you attack.
When I was
and again, because you have no moral clarity, no logical consistency, it's hard for you to like really parse out the nuances of things and when you're maybe going too far or why you're even on the wrong side to begin with.
Pointing out how as you cut the ground from underneath that white man, you cut the ground from underneath yourself. And now you're accusing Sharon of doing the exact same thing. And it's a real thing. You have to think about what you're attacking and how far you want to go with it. This is why I said there's really no middle ground. You're either team men or team women at this point. And it sounds like crazy caveman level to say it, but that's how far the thing has moved in like the cultural zeitgeist, where if it wasn't for the manosphere, if it wasn't for men with podcast microphones, you wouldn't really be hearing a male point of view like that. And they certainly wouldn't be challenged by the male point of view in mainstream culture and politics, right? So because of the manosphere, because of the men with podcasts, you actually do have a pushback that you would have never gotten otherwise.
Absolutely. But here's the dangerous dichotomy of it all. When you dissect this whole reality that Sharon is living in, this delusionalized reality that Sharon is living in, it's going to come to the forefront. It's going to come to a head, especially when you have PH Diva and other Black women, even half Black women, who sit on this platform and say the most craziest shit about mixed children.
Now, look, I'm gonna be very careful in this next line because, you know, as a person who respects the institution and the concept of marriage, I appreciate the fact that he's a married man. His wife is married to him, obviously, by default. You allow your wife the very same privilege. This is what I mean. You doing it. You are the exact same nigga with a fucking fitted hat and some shades on. You allow your wife the very same privilege. And the fact that dudes don't really get up and curse your wife out and talk crazy to your wife is because she's your wife. Not because she's a strong Black woman and we got to bow down and respect her shit. It's because we respect you. You are a less flexible Sharon. That's really what that is. Listen, don't ever do no yoga, bro. Don't let a nigga find out you be doing yoga. This is what I'm telling you. The nigga is really like cape jealous right now. The nigga, you are him. He is you and you are him, but he's a better you than you. And this shit burns you up to watch a nigga be you better than you. Like, how you gonna be me and be a greater me than me? Like, nigga, I'm me. Can you imagine the psychological burden of some shit like that? Watching a nigga be a better you than you? Like, come on, bro. Everything that you're accusing him of doing right now, you allow your wife to do that shit. And you be giggling and proud behind it. Get these niggas, babe. Don't tell these bitch ass niggas about theyself, babe. Now, me, when I'm up there, I encounter that shit. I gotta act like she didn't really say nothing. I'm just ignore the shit because I'm not dumb enough. I'm not gonna get into a whole personal squabble with a man and his wife because he married a spicy chick. Nigga, that is your cross to bear. I don't have to go home to that shit. You do.
It's going to come to the forefront. It's going to come to a head, especially when you have PH Diva and other black women, even half black women, who sit on this platform and say the most craziest shit about mixed children, while Sharon's mixed children is right behind him and his white wife is walking in the background. But if his white wife ever picked up that microphone and said, look, you bitch is not about to be disrespecting my kids, it's over. It's over. She can't do it. His wife, just like him.
Freeman's Journal, you know what? I respect the position, and I'm not going to bother nobody else who feels that way. You are not going to catch no heat from me if you feel that way. This is another principle of no enemies to the right. I'm not really going to hate. I'm not going to hate you for that posture, right? But this is how I look at it, right? In my own, this is just for me and how I want to do things and how I need to project a certain reality. Because you understand, there's an art to this. It's not just science. You gotta have to feel your way through it a little bit. I'm making a tactical decision to high road the shit. That's really what I'm doing. I'm making a tactical decision to just high road it. And frankly, I'm realizing that a lot of women are easier to deal with if you just ignore them. Act like everything you said didn't even matter and carry on with the shit I'm saying to the guy. Like, as a general concept, it's a lot easier to not get caught in the mud. And that's what winds up happening. I feel like it's a strategy used to get you caught in the mud, right? You're going to get stuck in the mud, having this like increasingly personal detente with some woman who you really don't even want to argue with. Like you're using a chick to distract me from the point. And so I'm just going to act like nothing you said mattered because you're not a guy. I only want to talk to the men here. And so, like, again, this is me, and I'm not going to attack anybody who actually takes a little more aggressive stance with it, but, you know, tactical realities I'm going to live with.
Are stuck within a corner. His wife cannot speak up against the fact that black women are saying the most horrendous shit about mixed children. He can't do it. Even when I heard today, I think it was Bomb Cherry that said it. No, it's either Bomb Cherry or PH Diva. Why are white people at the table when black people are speaking about this shit? His wife can't even be there. She could be in the chat, but she's not welcome.
When I had my little problem with Sharon a while back, I put it out there once and I let it be. But basically, I think it's very strange that a nigga that claims to have so many answers, you know, the solution-based nigga, he can't do a show with his solution. He can't show off his solution. He can't encourage you to follow the steps that he took to get his solution, because then he would directly be against all the women that give him money and give him accolade, right? Because his solution is not them. And that's the hard part of his show. He can't really say, he can't do a relationship show with the woman he loved the most.
I disagree with you, and this is why I disagree with you. If Sharon ever put his real solutions out there, it would destroy his marriage.
Either or. You know what? That's a great counter. I don't even want to fight you on that. I think it's a coin toss. He's going to destroy something, though. And that's the situation he's backed himself into. That's the corner he's in now. He has to lose something because, look, do a relationship show with the woman that you fell in love with and tell everybody how you love this woman and how it all works. And I mean that in all sincerity. Like, show us the way, nigga. Yeah. Show me how to get to white girl heaven.
And I want these black women who circle the internet talking shit about white women, I want them to be there in full support of this white woman, because now you put the black feminist movement in a corner itself. So y'all do support white women who in relationships with black men, and y'all actually like mixed children. So everything that all of these past feminist leaders have been saying is now bullshit.
I don't think Sel really understands the double-mindedness of just the feminine mental. Like, women are very, very good at holding two like opposing parallel concepts in their mind. This is why men get so burnt out about like female dating. You know, like, she'll have sex with a hot guy who she sees no relationship potential in, yeah, I'll give it to him right away. She'll do all kind of god awful things with him, right? But the guy that she values and sees relationship potential, she's gonna put him through hoops and make him work, right? And these seem like contradictory ideas to hold about love and romance and how to treat men, yet women will operate with both these ideas at the same time. Why? Because they're women.
This is why I said I could just sit back and watch. It's going to happen. If Sharon ever does a show with his wife about how it is that they even got into the relationship that they were in, and how it is that he fell in love with her, and how it is that he has positioned himself amongst her family. He can't do that. This is how I said the falling of Rome.
Now, you understand what's happening here is he wants all the women under Sharon's cape to come under his cape now. Because Sharon got a white woman under his cape. Like, didn't you notice? He got a whole white woman. Hell, she might even be a Russian. She's like icy white, like Nordic white, blonde hair, blue eyed. Married a chick from Frozen. Got her tucked away under the cape, and he wants all the black women that are also under Sharon's cape to come under his cape now because his wife's too white.
A great reckoning. The black women will leave him. The white women will be like, why the fuck you been letting these black bitches talk all this shit about us? And it's over.
You know what? That nigga need to take the GoPro with him one day when him and his wife is just out like running errands, going shopping together, buying little things for the house, little knickknacks and shit like that. Just show everybody the magic at work, bro. Show us what it looked like to really have solutions. You know what I mean? I want to see what solutions look like in practice.
Omni says, never forget when mixed kids were classified as non-black. Brownsville spoke up immediately in defense of mixed kids. Why didn't Sharon? You're the one with the mixed kids.
Right, Illusion. I noticed that too. And I think I called it out when I was, beefing with Sharon a while back. He said, interesting contrast. Sharon's white wife is not a central part of the show when discussing black things. However, Raw B is constantly interrupting conversations about men. Not only that, maybe that's why he got him a white wife, because she doesn't insert herself in things where the husband doesn't really want her to. She's like, you know what? I'm going to stay over here and mind my white wife's business. Let him talk on the microphone to all of his black friends. Maybe that's what she just made, a tactical decision to withdraw to a safe location. Maybe she just realized that's a tactically wise decision to make. However, black wife, all in the Kool-Aid. Your black wife is basically like Suge Knight, all in the videos, all in the hook. Sharon wife is like, come over here to death row. Your wife is all in the videos, all in the hook. Oh man, listen. That is a very, very distinct difference though. And I swear to God, it just does track racially.
Why didn't he? Because if he ever speaks up in defense of his mixed kids, look, the Bro Speaks podcast says, look what happened to the Philip D. Advice show. Absolutely. People forget these things.
Phil got a Mexican wife, and I told you they're for lots of reasons. Black people aren't as racist toward Mexicans as Mexicans are racist towards black people. And I find it amazing because I guess they just don't understand that this is like, gang politics at play. But, they forgive Phil the Advice show for his Mexican wife. It would be a lot harder with a white wife, but they might have gotten over it eventually.
I don't. I just don't say shit. And I just sit back and I say, damn, that's fucked up. Moving on. It always happens. It never fails. And it's been forever known. We know why a lot of the black hyena strags don't like Angry Man. It's not because of what he says. It's because he has a Latino wife. That's why.
Now, look, you get on me constantly. All you niggas do is attack black women. Black women. Attack. Here you go. These hyena strags. Why are these hyena strags mad at my homie?
It ain't got shit to do with what he say, because the majority of shit that he says is not even about black women. He says some things about black women, but it doesn't apply to all black women. But Sharon doesn't have that affordability because everything he says is about black men. And he's only repeating what they want him to say. Otis tried to throw a little bone in a dog fight, saying that we know Sharon is talking specifically about a certain sector of black men. But here's the problem, Otis. You fit that category too. Do we not need to bring up your charge?
But see, this is the problem. And I'm not going to say that any man is above criticism, any group is above criticism. So it's like when people have criticisms of the manosphere, the black manosphere, I'm not automatically like reflexively defensive about it, right? However, I would caution you and remind you that there isn't really no other voice, right? There is no other pushback. Like I said, if it were not for these niggas with podcasts, nobody would be having a lot of these conversations, right? And so you have to be careful in not cutting the ground from underneath yourself as you go out on these attacks. You got to kind of have to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, but here's the problem though. You have to make sure that you're the
I'm trying to like warn you, bro. You trying to attack Sharon, but he's you. You ever see one of those it's like a movie or something? As you break the mirror, you kill the monster or something like that. Like you're a mirror image of him. You niggas are the same nigga, bro. You are in the same lane. You are both in the protect black women lane. How you gonna attack him for protecting black women wrong? Why you can't have a white wife and protect black women?
The one to draw the line and not let someone draw the line for you. Because if you're defending a line that someone else made up for you, then you don't believe in that line, right? You don't believe in that line at all.
Now, listen to what I said and listen to his response to me. And this is what I mean. Like, dudes just start to like, they revert in a spitting game. They just say things. They offer platitudes and rehearsed lines about shit that is totally disconnected from the actual weighted criticism that I'm trying to give him right now.
There isn't really no other voice, right? There is no other pushback. Like I said, if it were not for these niggas with podcasts, nobody would be having a lot of these conversations, right? And so you have to be careful in not cutting the ground from underneath yourself as you go out on these attacks. You got to kind of have to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, but here's the problem though. You have to make sure that you're the one to draw the line and not let someone draw the line for you. Because if you're defending a line that someone else made up for you, then you don't believe in that line.
What does that even mean in reference to what I'm saying about you don't have any ground underneath you as you keep going on these attacks? Like, what does that even mean? You're just saying things now because if I say enough words, people will think I'm smart.
Right? You don't believe in that line at all. What you're doing is you're propping up a belief system that you don't have no value in. Your interests do not align with what it is that you say. And when your interests don't align with what it is that you say, you're going to fall yourself within defunct. And that's where Sharon is. He can never go against black women because he doesn't love black women, but black women support him.
Ooh, you don't love black women because you have a white wife. Now, I'm not going to say whether or not that's valid. That is a noticeable phenomenon on the pro-black side. There's a lot of, let me not say a lot. I'm not going to put a number on it, but interracial dating among pro-black men and women is a thing. A lot of the most pro-black men have white partners. A lot of the most pro-black women have white partners. I don't know how to make heads or tails of it, but he ain't the first, nor is he going to be the last.
He can never go against white men. He can never go against white women because you have a white wife who has a white family, who has white men. This is the corner that he openly backed himself into.
Well, that just makes him more like a white feminist, actually.
Absolutely. And thank you for proving my next point. You got my notes? Do you got my notes?
Because nah, bro. I've just been doing this a while too, you know.
As much as a white feminist that Sharon is, guess what? Black liberal feminist men and women support white feminists because white feminists peacock for black feminists.
And as
like
much as
go ahead.
As much as white feminists hate the so-called patriarchy and they're really talking about their white fathers and husbands having any authority or having any role, having any say-so, they extend that to black men and use black women as a proxy to crush the patriarchy on all racial fronts, which is why I'm very sensitive when you guys bring up certain shit. And that's why I pointed out to you, like, don't like take your own base away as you attack other people, because ultimately you are standing on kind of the same ground.
How so?
And you and Sharon are on the same team. You niggas are both on team BW. And you're mad because he's the captain and you're the water boy.
Like I said, either there is no real middle ground at this point. So you're either on like, you either want what's best for like men in general, which means you kind of want cover for women as well. You have to lose this idea that wanting what's best for men is leaving women hanging, when men have been covering for women forever. Like all men do for the most part, like obviously there's bad things in the world, but generally speaking, men care for women. And like when men have the money to have families, they take on women. Women will tell you right away, they have money, they don't need men. Like there's this whole imbalance that comes out of this thing. So you either have to be on one side or the other. And that's just my whole point, is like, you have to really pick a side and hold on to your side and be careful about like fighting your side too hard. This is why they say in politics, like no enemies to the right, no enemies to the left, depending on where you are, because ultimately you have to leave cover for your own team. You can't just go on this type of obliterating attack where there's no reason for even being. This is why you and I keep falling out, because it's like you act as if there's no reason for being.
Yeah, I disagree with your premise, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because that choosing a side thing.
Now watch this. I had no idea I was doing this because I don't often speak in a Machiavellian way where I'm trying to lead you to this brutal conclusion. If that happens, it's totally just by the nature of, conversational flow. But I laid out that premise to him and it was very clear, very succinct what I believe and why. And listen to how he backs himself into a corner eventually and refuses to hold his own L to the point where it just got awkward.
That's a thing of the past. There is a middle ground. That middle ground is a balance to where you're not focused on all of one, but you focus on the key, right? You're focused on the root of the problem. The root of the problem is people need to stop believing in shit that they truly don't believe in. They need to stop positioning themselves to be a champion for something that they truly don't believe in.
See, these are platitudes. Like you're saying the root of the problem is the platitude. If they believe in things that they don't believe in, what are the things? Like name the things. Don't just describe the general nature of a problem. Name the specific thing. This is why I'm like, I listen to people talk and I notice how often they stay in the vague realm. They stop short of naming the thing. And you haven't said anything if you're not willing to name the thing.
And as long as you're propping yourself up or you're allowing yourself to be pedestalized by a certain group of people just because you have a common goal, which will be a target, you're always going to find yourself in a losing position. You're waiting to be cannon fodder. It's only going to be your turn sometime soon. This is why the middle ground must be had, because if you choose a side, you're going to have to stand on it. And if you stand on it, you're going to have to also accept the downfall that comes with it. For someone like Sharon is going to have to accept the downfall. He's going to have to accept the pushback. And that pushback is going to come in the form of everyone's going to leave him. And hey, it is what it is. It might happen next week, next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You never know. But I know one thing.
Preying on another cape's downfall is crazy, bro. Caping is a dirty business, bro. You out here caping hard, doing your thing to protect black women, and there's another nigga with a cape just like yours preying on your downfall. Capers are the worst, bro. Ain't no hating like cape and hate. Capers are the worst haters, bro.
What he cannot do ever He can never switch sides. This is why I say you have to have a middle ground, because if you only have this side or that side, the side that Sharon is on right now, if he ever switches sides, there's not going to be a reaching position to where he can say, okay, maybe I was wrong on some things. He's going to have to go full extreme male advocacy. And once he does go full extreme male advocacy, it's over for him.
You just verbalize why I say there's no middle ground. Look at what you just said. Look at this.
There's not going to be a week next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You never know. But I know one thing: what he cannot do ever, he can never switch sides. This is why I say you have to have a middle ground, because
if you cannot switch sides, there is no middle ground. That's my whole point. The fact that you cannot switch means there's no middle ground. It's binary as hell. You may not be as far to the right as the right people, as the right wing that you've been talking shit about all this time, but make no mistake, you get kicked out of the left, you're on the right by default now. That is how the game is played at this point. When I tell you there's no middle ground, I am not making this up. I am watching it play out over and over again. This is why the right wing is growing right now, because the left wing doesn't leave room for a safe middle. You get attacked by the left from the middle. Not so much by the right. But even by the right, you'll get a few nips at your heels too. But the middle ground is a shrinking, dangerous position, because you'll have no friends. You'll have no allies. You'll be alone to the point of forced choice. And at that point, you're useless, because you only wound up here. You didn't want to be here. There is no middle ground. Valar Morghulis.
And if you stand on it, you're going to have to also accept the downfall that comes with it. For someone like Sharon is going to have to accept the downfall. He's going to have to accept the pushback. And that pushback is going to come in the form of everyone's going to leave him. And hey, it is what it is. It might happen next week, next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You never know. But I know one thing: what he cannot do ever, he can never switch sides. This is why I say you have to have a middle ground, because if you only have this side or that side, the side that Sharon is on right now, if he ever switches sides, there's not going to be a reaching position to where he can say, okay, maybe I was wrong on some things. He's going to have to go full extreme male advocacy. And once he does go full extreme male advocacy, it's over for him. You just
verbalize why I say there's no middle ground. Look at what you just said. Look at the steps and the pattern you described. I'm not saying this out of the blue. You just described why it's true.
You're cutting me off before I'm finished. This is why the old way doesn't work anymore. This is why that there is a middle ground, because extremism does not work. If you're on male advocacy and you're 100% extreme male advocacy, you can never approach the middle ground and say, well, there's actually some things. You can never approach that ground, and you can never be extreme feminist advocacy either, because you can never approach that common ground.
Let me explain why. And this is a practical knowledge that I'm trying to explain to you, because I keep running into it. And I ran into it with you personally last night when you said to me, I was extremist, right? However, during that exchange, I hadn't even laid out a position. All I did was lay out the idea or the problem of a thing, and you started calling me extreme. And that's the problem. Extremism is a subjective, weaponized concept by just the way we operate right now in the current form of political, social interactions. We just call anybody on the right wing extreme, no matter what's being said.
Yeah,
like the idea that the idea that men are men and women are women is extremism right now, right? The idea that what do they call it? Bioessentialism, that you are the physical reality that you were born into. That is an extreme position right now. So, and this is a little bit above you and I's conversation, but this is the reality that there is no real middle ground as you're describing it, because as soon as you break away from one thing, it's now a cascading effect. And so you wind up on the other side no matter what. So my position is Just own it for all the weaknesses. Won't you strengthen up the weaknesses in your argument, but own your right side? Because you're going to wind up there no matter what.
You're the one that said yesterday that you were extremist. You said that yesterday.
No, I did not, and I
Yes,
argued
you did.
against you when I asked you to tell me what I said that was extreme, and you didn't lay out an individual thing. You just kept attacking me as an extremist, and I am not an extremist. This is the label that is put on me, I suppose, but I do not own that. Really, what do you mean?
No. You're the one that said you were an extremist.
In what way?
When it comes to
I believe men are men, but because I believe women are women. Because I believe there's a, God, man, woman, child order. This is what makes me extreme. If that's the definition of extreme, then fine. You see what I mean?
And this is why I say, like, when you say that there can be no middle ground, there has to be a middle ground.
That's hope. Niggas speaking out of hope right now. You want there to be a middle ground, but I could be wrong. And you know what? I've been running my mouth for a while now. I'm going to throw the link in the chat. Do me a favor. Throw $1 in the hat, y'all. Throw $1 in the hat. Support the panel. I want to open up the conversation a little bit. We're going to open up the floor in like 5 or 10 minutes, y'all. But if you can tell me I'm wrong, I'm willing to hear you out. If there is a middle ground as you understand it, I will hear you out. I just don't happen to see it the way things are playing out right now.
Because even in that position, if what you're saying is true, then Sharon should be the head of his household, right?
But he is. He won't explain to you the inner workings of it. But this is what I'm saying.
Stop. Listen to what I'm saying. Sharon must be the head of his household, but you're propping up a community that you yourself left because you went and got a white wife. By that measure alone, Sharon can't exist within the middle ground because now he does not have a black wife, which means he's not the head of his household. He just has a white woman. And since the black community won't support him because white people aren't allowed to be at the table when black people are speaking, his wife is not welcome. And anyone who disrespects your wife is disrespecting you as a man. Case in point, they don't respect Sharon. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not arguing against that. I've criticized that as well on my own time.
And you can, but this is why I'm saying that extremism I have no problem with, but that extremism cannot exist. Shiesty Bum, you says what? If you don't understand what I'm saying, I'm sorry, Shiesty Bum. I explained it in the most simplest way that I possibly could. Hey, baby.
Here we go again. We were just talking about this, y'all. She be doing drive-bys.
Hey, I just want to say this. Like, ultimately, your assessment and your perspective on the situation is your assessment and your perspective. I find it very intriguing that you're doing a show for a very specific way, pointing out and highlighting very specific things. And instead of focusing on the topic, people exist in their extremism because they always want to push their agenda. The reality is most people operate in the middle ground. It's the healthiest way to operate. That's why they have CBT therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, where you're not supposed to be on the extreme sides of either side of your mind. You're supposed to operate in the middle. You can have conversations where you are pulling in from both sides and getting to a level of commonality. Unfortunately, we live in a world where most people do not exist in the commonality because they exist in ego and they just need to be right. It's quite tacky and it's quite trifling. And in all actuality, this is why the Black community is failing. Anyway, I got to jump. Love ya. Bye.
Thanks.
Well, so get out, please. I don't think anybody is arguing. I'm certainly not arguing for holding an extreme position because, again, I haven't stated an extreme position that you should hold. I'm just pointing out that the very concept of being extreme is somehow being weaponized when if you actually go down position by position, then maybe you can start talking about what's extreme and not. But people are just throwing that out there as if it's the reality.
You're trying to defend against the so-called weaponization of extremism when I'm not saying anything against extremism. I'm pointing out how it is that the extreme that Sharon is going to will be the downfall of his home, of himself. How does that have anything to go against what
you take the same extreme though? You take the same position when I'm not around. That's really it. You take the exact same position as him when I'm not around. For some reason, I wind up in the same arguments with you that I have with him.
I think I think his extremism against men is going to back him. But this is an argument about no
You're
middle
agreeing
ground
with what
because
I'm saying.
no, we agree on a lot of things except for the middle ground part. This is why I'm not really trying to pick a big fight. I just think the middle ground thing, just philosophically where we
But
are right now,
you're here to
you're
pick up.
always going to lose by being in the middle ground right now.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. You're talking about something that is old that does not work within a modern way.
I'm talking about right now, though. What do you mean?
You're
This is
talking
what's
about
happening right now. It's not an
no,
old thing. This is just still happening.
It's nothing close to what's happening right now.
Well, because look at what you just described about Sharon, right? He went so far that eventually he's backed himself into a corner that he's going to wind up, on the man's side by default. He's eventually going to say something that's going to put him on the out, which is just why I say there's no way for him to be.
You didn't just say that though.
Middle. It's hard to be on the middle ground because at some point you're just going to stake a position that's actually really practical and normal and get called extreme.
Got you. And this is what I want to point out to you because you totally removed me from my topic and you killing my numbers right now.
Hey, yeah, man. Like I said, I had to make it awkward because the nigga spent a lot of time totally talking the opposite of what he was saying before. I apologize if I made it awkward, but stop fucking with me.
What I'm pointing out is that Sharon, the middle ground does not exist for Sharon because if he attempts to approach it, it will destroy him. He has to stay in the position that he's in. Because if Sharon ever attempts to leave the position that he's in, the pandering position that he's in.
You think you're the middle ground? Is that what I'm hearing? Do you think you're the middle ground? So Sharon is somehow extreme and you're the middle? You're the comfortable middle. Interesting. And shout out to the first lady with the $1.99 super chat. The link is in the chat, by the way. Appreciate you supporting the panel. Like, share, and subscribe. I dropped the link in the chat. If you guys want to chop it up about these ideas, I'll let you know. And somebody was asking me, who is Sharon? Let me just show you. This actually is still live right now. So this is who is being discussed at the moment.
YouTube first. Let's see what happens. You want to say, I agree. This is the huge problem that we have in.
Like a dude who spends all his time criticizing the manosphere is being criticized by another dude who spends a lot of time criticizing the manosphere. I'm like, you niggas are kind of the same nigga for real.
In our community today, we are not calling out the right hypocrisy. Because one day you're saying that, hey, I'm all for black people, but then as soon as we have a system that is for black people, or supposedly for black people, the system is supposed to be for somehow, some way, even with the system supposed to be the beneficiaries of that system is not us. But even if the system was working for us, you will have a problem with it. This is the problem that I have with a lot of conservatives.
And I think he's reviewing the other half of that discussion that I was in last night. If I'm not mistaken, what he has on the screen is the exact same discussion that I was playing for you guys earlier. It's just by the time he came up on the panel, I left. I wasn't going to stay up there too long. Plus, I don't really care to talk to Sharon all that much anyway.
If the system was working properly for black human beings, you will have a problem with it because you're calling it out saying that it is racist. As I say, hey, let's keep it going and keep getting our black folks hired. That's an issue. I do not understand what Mark is talking about. Mark, what are you talking about? Democrats would put illegals before anyone. I don't know what that got to do with this conversation. What proof do you have of that?
Yeah, that's right there, right? Shout out, what up, Freeman? I'm sorry for jumping the gun. When I just heard that, what came up?
Y'all got it. I'll be back in 1 second.
I'm gonna give it to you, Freeman. You probably been here a little bit more than I did. I just came into the back half of the stream with him talking to Sell the Light. Fill me in, bro. What's going on? Freeman. Freeman.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, fill me in. What's going
Go
on
onto
with
my
this?
other mic. Basically, it's two dudes trying to compete over who is the Goldie for black women, right? This one dude, Cell, I guess it is trying to be the Goldie, right, for black women, and he is trying to steal Sharon's hose, basically.
Oh, are we having a Dirty Mac pandering simp competition?
Yes, yes, we are. It's like that Dave Chappelle skit. Hate.
I mean, I attended some conferences like that. Just like my Chicago brethren, whether he is dirty folks. I'm a righteous hater too, so I understand what that whole thing is coming from. But further enlighten me. I'm gonna get the whole gist of this thing.
I mean, that's basically it, man. He's just making a hating on Sharon because Sharon's wife is Caucasian.
Oh,
he
always,
Sharon can't be a true defender of black women. Only someone married to a black man can.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I didn't even catch that when I was live listening to it. Like, you know, sometimes you got to run a thing back through your mind a little bit to really see the nuances of it. And that's when it occurred to me. Like when Sel, when I first jumped on the mic with Sel, and he was like, "You see, I'm trying to do something here." Like, it took me a minute to really realize what he was trying to do. This is a giant cape war. These are like cape wars. The niggas want to have the biggest cape in town.
Man. I'm over here learning Higgsville, right? So I'm gonna have to go ahead and make an actual like rendition music video of E40's Captain Save a Hole. I'm just gonna have to go ahead and put all these male pandering simps into the video. Your FD signifies it's Sharon's. I might as well go ahead and throw Cellulite in the mix and all the rest of them. Thank you.
And you know, generally, like, nobody's above criticism. I don't think any group, anything is above criticism. So, like, people having critique and criticism of men and the manosphere and how things work, whatever, I typically don't get all bent out of shape about it. You know, everybody's got something to say, right? But I find it very, very hypocritical when you only have criticism for men. Because what type of environment are you out to create when you can only push in one direction? And so, like, when I'm talking to Sal, that literally came up. This is why I was playing the clip from like yesterday's show, talking about the manosphere. I mean, talking about the Houston rodeo thing, when he's like, look, let them do them. And it's not the first time he's argued with me in that same way. And it's like, so you can only ever talk about men. So if the men can only lead the men and we just let the women run amok, who's really in charge here?
Well, Hood, the theory and the philosophy of the community is that if you're a black man in that particular community, you are indeed CompuServe. You have all the responsibility, yet none of the authority. CompuServe.
Yeah, I think I remember Obsidian said something like that years ago about community eunuchs and whatnot. And that's basically the idea, you know, the disposable male is another phrase for it, where, you know, and this is what I try to point out about, like, you know, Sharon and his golden cape. Like, don't be confused about what's happening. No, they understand he's got a white wife in the cut. They're using him just like you said, but they don't care, because the caping for them is more valuable than hating on his white wife at the moment.
Which brings me to my other so-called point, in which the community itself going to have to make a decision. You'll go ahead and shame and ridicule a black man who still wants to be part of the movement, part of the cause, despite the fact that his spouse is of a different hue, particularly Caucasian. Yet, we have 5 political officials that's all women that are married to Caucasian men. Y'all was literally gung-ho not even almost 2 years ago, and basically tried to shame black men into voting for a supposedly black woman who's indeed married to a white man for the so-called black cause. And I'll pass the mic right there.
I don't think you can ever really get a lot of people to own up to these levels of hypocrisy. This is why I'm just pointing and laughing. You know, it's like even in the moment I'm on the show with Sel. You know, I can't expect him to really own up to it at the moment. So you just got to take the opportunity to point and laugh and catalog it for posterity. You know, that's what we're really doing here. We're building up a body of evidence because I may not be right about everything, and I may not be liked about a lot of things either. I accept that, but I'm willing to argue it out. I'm willing to be proven wrong here, and not everybody's willing to be proven wrong. A lot of people are going to hold on to their beliefs until, you know, they go down with the ship, I guess. But that's the nature of life. C'est la vie.
C'est la vie.
Somebody, you about to say something, Freeman?
Oh no, I don't really have a dog in this one. Dog in this fight. Just if you're gonna bring your wife out, man, that's target practice. Don't do it.
Yeah. And again, we can disagree on that one because I made my position clear on that. And like I said, I don't fight somebody who takes a hard line because that's the reality of it, right? Once she leaves the kitchen, it's dangerous out there. You know, the kitchen is safer for her.
Exactly.
But
if that is the world you want, right? Then wives can get it too. All right.
Yeah.
If she's standing behind you, she's fine.
Which is the proper feminist position, right? But then, and this is how dudes be full of shit, right? You're a feminist when she wants to get out in front of the gun and say all kind of crazy shit. But then you become the protective patriarch when the clapback comes at her. When the bullets start coming back at her, you want to stand out there with your chest out like, that's a female, not my wife. Like, bro, this is how the whole family gets gunned down. You can't do that. This is just a simple thing. Like, listen, if you want to take all the bullets, that's fine. But if you put her out in front, now everybody got to take the bullets.
And which is that exact reason. That's the exact same reason they always put the battery in all these naive black men's backs for all the causes. That right there. They'll start the fire, but they'll ask the black man to put it out for them.
Yep. No, I ain't a firefighter. Nope. The cure to feminism is actual equality.
I mean, it really is, though. Nobody wants things to play out all the way, you know, and this is the problem, like, and this is why it's the cure. Because real equality would actually get a lot of women hurt. You know,
Yeah.
you can't save women and truly be equal. That's just kind of the problem with it. Saving women is not the equality position. Because you know why? Most guys don't jump off a cliff to save other guys. They
Nope.
tell his story like that nigga was crazy. You should have seen him. Jump straight off that shit. Smooth off the cliff, bro.
Exactly. Ain't no love, man. Listen, true equality. I keep saying it. Treat women like men, and they will beg to be treated like women again.
Oh yeah.
Facts. We got a new guest on the panel. Ivan, I don't think we talked in a while. What's going on, bro? How you been?
Yeah, what's up, man? It's been a while. I was just wondering if you were gonna make some videos about the infamous suburban black queen becoming a hood baby mama pipeline. I wasn't I'm an adventurous man on TikTok.
I saw that video
for my own personal amusement on TikTok, I just ended up on a panel that was discussing that, and I had to interject my Eastern European wisdom upon the black queens. And then I found out this black queen in my background. You see the black queen in my background? She's going to Albania. She's going to be 460 kilometers where I'm at, which is 270 miles for the American folks, just to get, 7 days a week to get some satisfaction from certified Albanian freaks. You got black queens live in New York to go to Albania for that.
Wow.
You see the Albanian flag right there.
We're getting a live divestment update. I didn't expect that today.
Trivesta.
Yep, this black queen from TikTok, man. She is.
You know,
Right?
Ivan, I
She's
have a whole,
going
I
all
have
the
a
way
whole
to
separate
Albania.
channel. If I do a video on that, you're not gonna catch it on this channel. I have a second channel that I've been trying to do like my edited video content, so I can just go live over here, and then I've been dropping a lot of pre-recorded videos lately. So if I do cover that, which I have that video, believe it or not, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's saved in my bookmarks on Twitter, on TikTok. But if I do that video, it's gonna be on my other channel.
Bro, she's trying to get
it's,
kidnapped, Holmes. Kidnapped and sold into slavery. Albania?
Oh, you would be surprised, man. What pops on my timeline because of all this content on TikTok? You would be surprised.
Nah,
On one
that's
side,
down the racial
NSWP.
rabbit hole, all kind of wild things.
Yeah,
pop
yeah,
up.
all that
So
stuff.
instead of messing with a good black man here in the States, that she even negated the bear. So she said, forget the bear, forget Caucasian man here in the States, and black man, other races man. She won't go to Albania.
Well, you know, there's just a very like sociological. How do I say this? The socialization of the two groups creates realities for dating that I don't think she, as a woman traveling Albania, quite understands. Meaning this is what I'm trying to get to in a very delicate way. Black men are notoriously the least patriarchal men around the world, right? Of all the men, black men are the least patriarchal. Matter of fact, when I was on Cell's channel like a week or two ago, arguing with him and Angry Man, I was yelling at them about this shit because somebody mentioned like, oh, these other women want you. I'm like, bro, these other women leave their strict patriarchal men to get with you niggas because you ain't got no backbone, because you don't have the brotherhood, you don't have the patriarchy, you don't have rules and structure. And so one of the things I think Ivan, come back when you're ready. One of the things I think Ivan kind of is that girl Ivan's talking about, one of the things she's going to stumble into is a lot of those men from those cultures don't value black women as much because black women don't operate the way women from a strict patriarchal culture operate. So they see you as sexual creatures that you're not. Like a black man might actually fall in love with your thought ass. These niggas, no, it's not. It's just not gonna work.
It never crossed the B Dubs so-called what's that thing called, the frontal lobe, when it finally develops at 35 years old. It never occurs to her frontal lobe cortex that when she goes over to other races of men, she's actually a traitor. And since the men principle, loyalty is only a male principle, when we see an actual traitor, we do as such as what we do with traitors. We make an example out of them. So,
and Ivan, let me ask you one last question while I got you here. How often how often do men of not just we said Albania, not just that one country, but how often do Eastern European men in particular fall in love and marry Black American women or Western Black women in particular?
Not very often, but if I go to Serbia, that's probably like Belgrade's becoming like very diverse recently, and there are some, but I think those are like African chicks from like maybe from the UK, because there's a lot of Polish and Serbians and Croatians going to the UK, and sometimes they get married with, you know, the African chicks over there. But it happens, not very often, but it still happens.
And I'm not saying it would
this
never
one right
happen.
here that you're saying she was on a. Yeah, I understand that. You see, this lady, this is Barbie Ovens from TikTok. For those who don't know, she doesn't chase, but she will sprint for some white chocolate.
It's got to make you feel good, at least. You know, every now and then when you're having a bad day, just remember some women in the world will sprint for you.
Oh, from the looks of her picture, and she didn't sprint that far.
Oh, I'm not judging. Trust me, this is just my own personal entertainment. I'm not even a white Westerner. I'm just white Eastern. So, yeah.
I don't think they care that much. East, West, whatever. She doesn't really think. She doesn't know there's a big difference. She just wants to try out a new guy.
Yep, that's what she's implying. After all, she doesn't chase, but she's gonna sprint for any white chocolate right there.
But that actually tracks.
Anyways,
though.
I gotta make a phone call. I'll be talking to you. See you soon.
All right, cool. Good talking. Shout out to Ivan. It was my Eastern European homies. Shout out to my Slavs out there. I told y'all, my white pass has been stamped in places you niggas will never go.
So you're international hood now. That's what we is. You
I'm
international hood.
an international nigga. Like straight up. What's going on, Ben? Hold on, mute up. You always call me while you're in the car, Ben. I'm gonna mute you up for a second. Mystery Enigma, what's going on, Mystery? I'm gonna go to you and then I'm gonna kick it to Bandit. What's going on, Mystery?
What up, man? I just want to reference since you Obsidian was mentioned. Let's also pay respect to Obsidian exposing that Africans have what's called what he called the big man culture. So it's always got you always got to be the biggest nigga in the room in these situations. And apparently, Imperfect Cell wants to take Sharon's spot for some reason. He wants, you know, it can't just coexist like you got your audience, I got mine, and let's
They
collaborate
can't
on
both share the cape.
exactly. It's like I gotta get your headband, brother. You know what I'm saying? On some Afro Samurai shit. Like
Yo,
I gotta replace who you are.
it took me a second to really put it together, but then live on air, as I was going in on it, I was like, oh shit, the nigga wants his number 2 headband. That's all this really boiled down to. And he mad. He feel as though if I reveal to black women that he has a white woman tucked underneath his cape, maybe the black women will bestow the number 2 headband to me out of fealty to the black vagina. Nope, sorry, don't work like that. Cape harder, nigga.
And then what's crazy is the approach he's doing it is in a very feminine way, right? Because he's not attacking anything he says. It's just the optics of it. It's just an ad hominem at, at at best, you know. Like he has a white wife, so therefore he's disqualified. Forget whatever he's saying, you know. But
Because they believe in the same things ultimately. They, like I said, y'all are both on the same side, opposite the red pill, opposite the manosphere, opposite black men. So you are in agreement with a lot of things by default. And the fact that you are after him now, it's just like blue on blue infighting. That's all it is. It may the
Blue on
biggest
blue
hate
inf-
win. Yeah.
More like blue balls.
delusion.
But more or less. Hey, Bandit, I know you're like driving down the 95 or something right now. What's going on?
Man.
Do you have like a convertible? Why do I always hear so much background noise?
Because my car is ghetto as shit. Dude, I'm driving like a.
Mine's is old too, man. No matter.
I'm driving like a 15-year-old hoopy here, so you know it is what it is. But I just want to say, like, you can't trust fence sitters. Like, if you don't have a stance for anything as a man, you're freaking dangerous as all hell because you have no morals. You have nothing you stand for. You are, and no woman's gonna take you freaking seriously because you don't stand for anything. It's ridiculous. Like, the fact that you can't even defend your own wife and kids and you care about internet clout over your own family is deplorable at best. At
well, you're
worst,
talking about Sharon right now. That's a whole other side. I haven't even touched that, but yeah, no disagreement on that one.
Yeah, and you deserve to get roasted if you can't defend your own family. But at the same time, like, the whole fence sitting, like, platitudes and all that crap, you can't. Like, you either stand for something as a man or you don't. If you have no morals, then no man is going to take you seriously. That's why everybody's clowning on this guy, because you're not standing for anything. You can't live in, like, the gray. It's either black or white. It's either action or no action. There's no, like, try. Bullshit.
Well, that was the exact argument I was having with Sal about the whole gray area thing. There is no real middle ground. It's a fantasy for people who just don't want to make hard decisions and live with the outcomes.
You know what it is? The one thing about fence sitters, and nobody ever put this together, but me. I'm this one of my quotes. The one thing about being a fence sitter, eventually one day that poster's gonna go up your ass.
All right, that was a lot. Ben, let me bring you back. Hold on. Yeah, Ben, let me bring you back in there because I know you wanted to say some more about this fence sitting thing, but that is really a huge issue. There is no middle ground, and the fence will poke you in the ass eventually.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if you're sitting on the fence and you're like caring about internet clout and you're to get women, like, this basically says, like, your mother never loved you as a kid, so you're trying to get every black woman's clout because your mom never loved you. Like, it's so obvious at this point. It's like, we get it. Your mom doesn't love you. You know, your mom wasn't in your life, and that's why you want reassurances from every freaking single black woman out there because you have no morals and you need validation. It's pathetic. It's like, it's seriously what women do. Like, it's pathetic. Like, I don't understand, like, how far people have fallen. Like, this is pathetic. Like, it's cringeworthy at this point. Like, I don't know how
Cringeworthy and laughable.
I don't know how you put up with this hood. I mean, I would like throw my phone against the wall. It's like speaking.
It's great content at the very least.
It is
If I
great
didn't have a
content.
show, I wouldn't bother.
But then I'll say one last thing and then I'll go. And then you compare this to the video you made last night, and it's like, do I really want to put one and one together?
I just did that. That's literally what I did. I had to do the side by side because, like, bro, you did a complete reversal. You got on me about, oh, you can't talk about these women, can't say this, can't say that. But here you are the next day talking crazy about the women. Which one is it? But then I realized, oh, this is just a ploy to be the biggest cape in town. You're fighting for the number one cape.
So it's Green Arrow versus Red Hood. Gotcha.
More or less. It's cape on cape crime. And you know what?
No, it's Green Arrow against Red Hood against Red Arrow versus the Black Arrow. I mean, it's all the arrows. He's coming for all arrows.
It's all the capes are fighting each other. It's like Civil War in Marvel.
Well, I was saying Red Hood as in like Little Riding Hood because he's not acting like Red Hood.
Well, I want to say this one last thing, and I'm gonna get Freeze on Lou in here, but you were talking about being unapologetic and simping versus, women don't like that kind of thing where you're just being, too accommodating. Let's call it that, right? As a man, let's run this experiment. Who do you think respects you more? The women that follow you at your quote, your nicest, when you're simping the hardest, when you're the most forgiving, when you're the most tolerant, when you've bend it over as far as your human spine will allow you, or the women who follow you when you've been at your most strident, when you've been at your most unreasonable, when you've been at your most difficult, when you're the hardest to reach and they still want to talk to you. Who do you think really respects you more? The women who follow you for simping, or the women who follow your strength?
Strength.
The strength.
Free zone. What's going on there?
Man, cooling. I want to get a little bit more context on the middle ground thing. But I do want to say this first. The women don't care over there, man. Half of them, from my understanding, most of them that are in the chat have seen some semblance of his wife. They understand who she is. They know that she's white, and they don't care. So I don't understand what Cell is trying to do.
Did he get doxxed recently, Free Zone? Because I heard rumors about that, but I don't participate.
I heard, but I wasn't there. I haven't really been on the tube like that. I pop in and pop out, but I haven't kept up. But I did hear that he got doxxed. And they're still trying to figure out who. I don't know the details of it, but what I was gonna say, and I said this in the chat, if he was going to pivot, you could use this experience to kind of roll into a different thing. Because when you get doxxed, it's kind of a serious thing. And I'm not saying that he got to go against the chicks, but he can begin to gradually slide. Like, yo, as I held this position, but I'm realizing, as I got doxxed, and I'm not going to say who doxxed me, but when I found out who doxxed me, you see what I'm saying? Like, you could bullshit your way. You could bullshit your way into a see what I'm saying? Into a less extreme side, and then something else happens, and so you got to go like tragedy for tragedy. That's how it has to happen. That's the only way it can happen.
But that's like you complain. That's like you thinking like you're playing chess when these guys are playing checkers. They're waiting for the next like software update to decide what to do next. It's not like these people are not thinking for themselves. They're waiting for the group or their talks to be written down so they can speak. They're literally like penguins just clapping. Like there's no rational thought. They don't plan. They don't stand for anything. Like you guys are thinking about this the wrong way. You're thinking like these people are like masterminds here. They're lucky if they can play checkers. or I should say,
well,
Chutes and Ladders. You're looking at Chutes and Ladders people, not.
You look at Connect Four people.
That's even simpler than damn.
I was gonna say, yeah,
ladders.
Connect Four.
At least there's strategy to checkers. Like, damn.
Yeah.
No,
they're
Connect
at the
Four,
oops
bro.
stage.
Connect Four.
Oops, I stepped on the ladder. Now I gotta slide back. Oops, I screwed up. Now I gotta slide back. I mean,
yeah, bro.
it's not even
that is
sorry
appropriate.
level. At least sorry takes a little strategy. There's no luck. They're just okay. This is what I'm gonna...
trouble.
Man,
No, I'm
the community,
and that's what I'm saying. Like they're not masterminds at all. They're just YouTubers, man. Like that's really all it is. Like expecting them to be a morally upstanding person. I don't really expect that from YouTubers for real. And that's not to say that they're corrupt. It's just like this is entertainment for the most part. So
well, I mean, if you need
now,
a place to exercise your faith, go to church.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Now to the ones who decide to go against the algo and do their thing, well, I commend it 100%. But it's like it's not an expectation going in.
Nope.
That's all I'm saying.
I gotta bounce, guys. Thanks for having me up.
No problem. Good talking to you.
I just want to say, even pointing out his wife is an ad hominem, right? That's still not that's still not attacking the argument.
Nope.
You know, to say, oh, he's fake for black on black, whatever. But these guys have, XYZ wives and family structures. That's still an ad hominem at its core. So that's why it's weird for them to go after each other, just throwing a bunch of logical fallacies at each other.
I do think that Cellulite podcast, he's halfway onto something when he brings up the fact that you hide your white wife so strategically. I think if it went full public, it would look weird. Like I said, go put on a GoPro and just go buy some household items with you and your Russian ballerina bride. It would totally blow up a kind of image of Sharon in particular as like the protector of black women. Did he just drop out?
Yeah, Vandy did, but
yeah.
What if his wife is transracial, like Rachel Dolezal?
Yeah,
wait, she's not even ballerina size. Oh, if she got a BBW white woman, it's totally off. He's cooked.
Yeah. I'm telling you, bro. They know and they don't care, man. They'll when people bring it up over there, people will pay to drop that person and say that's rude. we know his wife over here. She's cool people. Like they'll do that shit. I've seen it.
I brought that up. And I just say that to sell because he's so valuable to their cause as black women, they're not going to sacrifice him because of his white wife. I literally made that point. So I'm not sure where it goes. I do think it is a reality, but he hasn't crossed that bridge. So I don't know if he's going to blow it up or cross it or what.
Plus, if his white wife can do 3 black things, then she's in. She can braid hair, cook some chitlins, and sing a big small song or something. You'll be all right. It'll just blow over.
Oh, what if his wife is that one white girl? Remember that white girl that went viral for rapping along the Little Baby? They were like at a wedding or something, and she knew like every word to the Little Baby song. What if that's his wife?
Exactly.
That would be some hilarious shit.
Exactly. It don't take much to cross over to get your black card, or black adjacent card. So
we got Bluff City Nerd in the conversation. Real quick before you jump in. Because I like regional little things. I need to know this. Where is Bluff City exactly? What city is that?
Bluff City is the nickname of Memphis because it sits on a bluff. Like if you're driving into Memphis from Arkansas, the city kind of sits on what's called a bluff. That's where that comes from.
I was really just dead curious about Bluff City as a thing. But all right,
yeah, it's not the only nickname of Memphis. Some people call it River City or Blues City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Blues I've heard of.
Blues,
okay, but Bluff City was throwing me.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, I wanted my screen name to be
Bill Street. Bill Street. Shout out to M-Town. I'm probably gonna come down there in Memphis in May one day. You know what I'm saying? That y'all get down there. Shout out to Memphis.
But shout out to Bluff City. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. What's up with it?
What did you want to add about today's shenanigans? I know we kind of switched the whole nature of the show. I kind of went on a more of a personal rant, start talking about some other shit.
But I just want to hop on here and talk about the original, subject when it comes to like Nick Cannon coming out as Republican, basically.
Right.
I mean, of course, like he's gonna get backlash from the black community because let's be real, we can't stop. Well, not we, but most black people in general can't stop drinking that blue Democrat Kool-Aid, even though we did not start the Democrat Party. It was never meant for us, but somehow, some way, it just became for us. And when I hear black people talk about, oh, the Democrat Party, they've always helped black people, blah, 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 I know they're full of shit. I just do not believe that anymore. I used to, because like growing up as a, black youth, of course, you that's all we know. Democrats are for black people, blah, blah, blah. I've heard most of my family tell me that. Then I got older. It really got all the way up until like Trump's first term. That's what kind of started opening my mind to the Republican Party and just seeing what Donald Trump specifically can do. Because I don't rock with all Republicans. Let me make that very clear. I'm really a centrist at heart, but nowadays I'm leaning more center right. So just to be on a more technical thing, but yeah, of course, a lot of black people just don't want to let go of the false godlike, whatever you want to call it, that the Democrat Party is to them, because they keep voting for it over and over and over again, thinking it's going to make a change. And that what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again till thinking you're going to get a different result. And black people, for the most part, have voted Democrat for way too long. What did Lyndon B. Johnson say? Who have who voted Democrat for 200 years when he did the what was it? What did we sign in 1964? I don't want to get it wrong, but it gave black people
Great Society.
Yeah.
Society, the Welfare Act, the Monahan Report.
Yeah. I didn't want to get it wrong, but yeah. So that's what started it from then here on out. Because black people, let's be real, most black people are conservative. Well, do most black people believe in God? Yes. At one point, we had very strong family units and everything, and then just black people switching parties, not party switching up on black people, is what fucked up everything.
Let me challenge you on a little bit right now.
Go ahead.
In the most modern context, do you think black people are still all that conservative, or are you just sort of banking on the traditional reputation of Black America?
Well, that's what I was really talking about. I mean, nowadays, of course, a lot of black people support illegal aliens and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the 392 genders or whatever, however many are there now. I've lost count.
Man.
So
if you don't get the number right, you're a bigot,
bro. No, he said that Mathis racist, and he used critical race there, so he could be all right. That's good leeway.
But yeah, I don't know how conservative most black people are anymore. So when you said that, I just had to ask the question, because it seems
I was
that's
really
a
talking about
generational thing.
from black people back in the day. I mean, obviously now, please.
Yeah.
The idea of them. I mean, they love the nonsense, because let's be real. Like liberal ideology mirrors female nature, and then how black people act and how the community gets down, that also mimics female nature, since most black kids are growing up without a father in the home or some strong masculine leadership. You know what I'm saying?
And look, order and discipline, I'm gonna kick it right away. Let me just say this one thing. Order and discipline are basically like masculine coded concepts. And for black men to impose, or even to want to impose order and discipline, you get charged for being, like the white man, which it leaves you no room to stand as a man, because all things white are bad and order and discipline are white men things, no black man could even have the right to want to impose order and discipline, even if it would be for everyone's benefit.
And let's be real. I was looking at a particular video about black folks in the 1960s, California. They was basically sharing their lamentations and grievances about a particular class of black people coming from the South through the Great Migration, adopting and bringing their ways with them. That was kind of messing up the whole status quo of what they already built. I believe that once we start being inclusive amongst our own with their so-called traditional Southern ways, aka rambunctiousness, drunkenness, lascivious lifestyles, we basically have now incorporated all bad sets of behaviors amongst every class of black people, to we can't even say what is black and what is not, what is good and what is right, what is wrong and what is bad. And to the point, like, if you don't do this, you ain't black.
I mean, hell, it even starts with speaking proper English. I mean, I dealt with that growing up. I mean, like, oh, he talk white as hell.
Bro.
I'd be like, what the fuck does that even mean?
It's the Marxism, right? Black culture was converted to a Marxist prop, right? To be anti-white. So if you speak correctly, guess what you are? You can't be black because black people don't do that.
Hey,
also, I want to point out that black culture celebrates a bastardized version of God, right? Because I remember I had this conversation with my mother, and I was talking about how I didn't like the one line where Jesus was praying to God for a crack sale, and she was like, "What he's doing what he's got to do to feed his family is like, I don't think you can pray to God for that. I don't think he will support you, selling 8 balls, to feed yourself. I think he gives you more options than that. And then you got another clip of this chick was thanking God for the opportunity to be on Temptation Island. Like, bro, this ain't.
Wow.
I don't think God would do that for you. We'll open that
I
lane
don't think
for
you're
you.
praying. Your prayers are going down, not up. And this is what I meant about like moral clarity. Like I think a lot of people have lost, like that concept of like respectability politics. This comes before respectability politics, but the fact that you have a moral clarity, it means you kind of understand that this is probably not a thing it's not a beneficial behavior. But we've thrown that very concept out the window for hedonism and do as thou wilt. And,
you know
she's
why?
a black woman.
Yo, before anybody go, I want to go ahead and say it like this.
Yeah.
The thing is, I agree that we were conservative up until like the 1950s. Before a little dude from what MLK originally come from when he started doing this thing. He was from like Georgia. He was doing it in Alabama. Well, it don't even matter. Atlanta. So this little slick talking, really not a preacher. He believed in prosperity preaching, not even the gospel in the Bible. Let's be real. He brought in this communist mindset. When he came in the 1950s, that's when black people really stopped being conservative and they became communists. And ergo, I'm going to go with Malcolm X. If you want, I'll go ahead and use a thin comb real quick. If they even follow that philosophy, as much as I love Malcolm X and everything that come with it, that is a thin line between socialism. So you got the communist MLK and you got the socialist Malcolm X. That's why, by the time the 1970s, we weren't conservative at all. And that's why you don't see them conservatism in the community right now.
Hey, Hood, can you highlight Dick Doug's comment?
Yeah.
Hey, so you can see, I just want to add this. I'm not saying singing out or anything. It's just when you look at the marriage statistics, you can see the trend away from marriage starts in the 50s. So it's basically like as soon as they got a check, the marriage rate started going down, right?
Well, I was right.
Oh yeah. But the Marxism was being planted in the 50s, right? It didn't like start in like 1962 and then poof, right? We got the civil rights movement. They had been planning this all through the 50s, right? And just like MLK they had to build new organizations for MLK to be a part of so he'd have legitimacy, right? Because there was significant pushback to this in the 50s, right? But the idea to create a Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement started then, right? But then it falls off a cliff post civil rights, right? Post civil rights, war on poverty. I mean, it goes down fast. Like real fast, especially with methadone clinics, the freaking idea of the functioning addict. I mean, it was awful, man. The 70s were terrible.
Horrible, straight horrible. They call that the worst decade in history. And I said the 90s was, but they say the 70s was the worst decade in so-called modern history.
Free Zone, you want to jump in there?
What up, Free?
What's good? I think with the modern landscape, the liberals are so far to the left that there's very little that they could do that can be done on the right to even convince them to come over. Especially when you're trying to fight race with race, that's never gonna happen. I think there's two issues Number one, there is no clear, definitive black agenda. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that you're never going to get anything done with a guaranteed vote. And so even for the sake of, you know, you could say there's racists on the right and all that shit, right? Even if I were to grant you that, you still need something that gives your vote some push, some influence. And that's never going to happen if it's guaranteed on.
I mean, you
And
know,
so that's
even
pretty much where I'm at with it. Where if you have an agenda first, right, and then you basically do the Ice Cube agenda, see which side will listen. But like even like I'm talking to some pro-blacks lately, like, what are you doing standing next to a white woman pro-blacks? And they'll tell you that there's no black agenda. They got some ideas and shit, but they don't got nothing.
I can't do nothing just for black people. No.
That's what I'm saying. So the psychology is to a point. Like, think about it. The psychology is to a point where, like, think about what the right would have to do to win, to even win that. There's nothing they could do, man.
Well, right.
Yeah,
Well,
of course
which is
not.
my
That's
point
the-
about
But there's
middle ground.
Let me make this point.
There's
There's no
clear-
agenda. There's no agenda
Freedman
because
and mystery.
yeah, there is no agenda because black people are separated along socioeconomic and class lines like everyone else, right? This black agenda only exists in the ether, right? It only exists on CNN, right? It doesn't exist in real life. Like, you know, Bluff City Nerd. I use that all the time. I use the example of South Memphis versus Eads, Tennessee all the time, right? Like, and you would never know about Eads, Tennessee unless you actually did the work, right? These people are living in black people living in $1 million homes, chilling, right? Successful black people are invisible, and they want nothing to do with none of this.
Their head down and stay out the line.
What you know about East Tennessee, bro? Hold on. But anyway, I would say that the root cause there's no clear definition of black,
right?
Right, because you know, like referencing the Ice Cube thing, he came in there and proposed for black people, and what was the immediate pushback? No, what about black women? And it was they're not including black people.
I think dirty folks have been MIA for months, but he coined this term for as far as we're gonna go. You know, I stumbled onto it, but I'm gonna give him ownership rights to this. Women, gays, and felons, bro. That's basically the functional definition as we conceive of it. And the Freedmen's Journal kind of rounds it out with black means anything against white. So women, gays, and felons against white. That's basically black.
Right. And that's a political definition, you know. But when you file your taxes, you know, what box are you checking?
I'll put other, since I've been called red since I'm so light skinned. I'll just say I'm red. I put other.
I select married, filing jointly.
Let me listen to. I want to play this clip from Roland Martin. Let me see what he's upset about.
Hey, how come you don't have him in the corner, Hood?
You know, I was just thinking that. I was about to run him up there and do that.
I was like, you got Roland frozen with this stupid look on his face.
The fact that I got him on screen and he ain't dancing, I just caught that.
All right, folks. It is abundantly clear that we have a lot of people who have no concept of American history, who literally know nothing about the history of this country, the history of the Republican Party, and the history of the Democratic Party. Yes, I saw those ridiculous comments made by Nick Cannon and Amber Rose and a bunch of other people who repeat that nonsense. And so you're going to see a deconstruction tonight on Roland Martin Unfiltered, while I walk you through those are
crazy eyes. He's got like that Adderall stare.
Bro, you realize he's fighting for his literal existence, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty much.
Without this paradigm, he doesn't exist. He absolutely serves no purpose. Like in the body politic, it's the Whig Party, right?
And notice though, Roland has had a fall from grace ever since like the Obama era, which and Roland does kind of symbolize a certain element of that black politic where ever since the end of the Obama era, they've been kind of pushing him to the sideline, like, no, nigga, you're icky now.
Yeah, he said something untoward about pillow biters, and they got rid of him. And ever since then, he's just been clamoring to eat from the liberal left hand. Like, please, I'll take anything. Any morsel will do, kind sir.
That's ironic. As much as he gets called gay, that is hella funny,
bro.
You know what almost killed his channel was that when he showed the man buns on the live stream.
Yeah, that's what we talking about.
Yeah, that whole accidental swipe or whatever.
Him.
What was the nigga on, like, gay Tinder or some shit? What was that? Like, he just, and then he had to address it too. Like, it was hilarious.
Yeah, that was nasty
X is
work.
full of triple X content, so you got to be careful.
Man. Nigga had too many tabs open at one time. That's got to be careful with your open tabs, man.
Rated XXX.
History of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party when it comes to black voters. Watch at 6 p.m. Eastern, Roland Martin Unfiltered. Go to our YouTube channel or Black Star Network app. School will be in session. You better take notes. All right, folks.
Yo, why he has the disposition? He moves with a woman's momentum. I mean, I felt like my auntie was just trying to talk down to me to come to the damn barbecue and make sure I bring the ice and a case of pop. And if I don't come at all. That's how I felt right there.
Speaking of aunties, not yours, but I know you know the vibe. Speaking of aunties, it's like a soft bullying that goes on with, like, the Democrats and the liberal establishment. They will outright bully you. All the Teslas that got put on fire at the beginning of the year, like, they will outright destroy your property and ruin your life. But before it gets to that, it's just, escalating levels of soft bullying until you bend the knee.
Ironically,
people with low T. I mean, I can imagine Roland Martin's T levels are probably in the 200s.
Damn.
I mean, he literally looks like a human circle.
You gotta stay.
I'm not in the best of shape right now, but dude, I think I could definitely bench more than him if I'm just being honest.
Boy said
I think we all could.
God damn.
Just a bag of bad DNA, man.
But this is what they advertise.
So let me ask you this, right? Would you consider Roland to be extreme?
Yes.
Would you say that he has principles?
Absolutely fucking not.
So and Hood, that's what I was trying to, maybe I missed the context of the conversation, right? I was trying to understand the concept of being extreme, having morals, being in the middle ground, not having morals. Maybe I was misunderstanding.
No, what's the middle ground position? Because I'm willing to be proven wrong here, but like my position is that socially or politically, there isn't a lot of safe middle ground between any two opposing positions at this point, because the middle ground it's a shrinking territory that will leave you exposed to attack, mostly from the left and also by the right as well. But what's a middle ground position? Name one.
It's really hard to pinpoint. So when I think of middle ground,
isn't it?
here's why, right? Here's why, because a middle ground, right? When I think of middle ground, I think of you have a principle that never wavers, right? And so depending upon whatever situation happens, and that's when and this is where I don't have too much pushback, because we were kind of saying the same thing, because it depends on that window, right? Whatever window of the conversation we're in, your principle is going to sit somewhere in that, and in a certain window, you could be in the middle ground. It just depends on the situation. Like, for example, let me think of an example off the top of my head, because I don't think that you're extreme, right? When you start talking about marriage and women where they need to be in a marriage, right? I when I look at the clip that you played, right, and the shit that happens every time, right? You arguing with Cell, to me, is not extreme. But when Raw jumps into the picture and starts going off on everybody and then just leaves, I think it to be very extreme. Like, why are you even in this conversation?
Well, there's another point I made to Sell on a different note, but like people weaponize the concept of extremism almost intentionally to attack the right. We almost never do this to the left. Like you can do whatever you want up till 12 months of pregnancy, and that's perfectly fine. But you know, I'm extreme if I say, well, maybe, you know, a life is a life from conception. Like somehow the most basic practical points have become extreme. And if basic reality is extremism, then I'm an extremist or there's just no middle ground. Like this is why he calls me an extremist, and I'm like, no, there's no middle ground, because you've weaponized the concept of extremism so that basic reality is now extreme, and I get to be the bad guy.
And it's probably just because of the way I view it, right?
When I ask you for a middle ground position and you struggle to name one, it's not because I've staked out such a far right position. It's because the left has dragged things so far to the extreme.
Because everything, it's because everything that you could possibly say is extreme to somebody. It's going to be labeled as extreme, even if you don't think it isn't.
Right. And so my whole point is stop looking for a safe middle ground. You're going to find yourself naked and afraid.
Right. Because with Sell with the middle ground, I understand what you mean by that, because on one day is don't talk about the women, and then today is we cooking these hoes.
And I had to realize that was a very clever ploy at Cape supremacy. It took me a minute to realize what he was doing. This is really
Cape Pergamy.
I don't even think he really mean any of this shit he was saying about black women and strags and all that. He just wants the biggest cape there is. He's fighting for the cape.
You know what's the part that I'm missing, and this is why I struggle to find an answer. Like, bro, if you're gonna cape for black women and want certain black women, why do you want those black women, bro? Like, why do you want them black hoes? Like, why? like.
They want the
you can't pander to like the black conservative, like why you
need to put that cape on a better bitch. That's what you need to do.
Hey, competition bias. Remember what I keep on saying? That's that competition bias, bro.
Man,
let them have it, man.
Thing about that, the quality of women you cape for will absolve your caping.
Yeah.
Listen, if she's a good woman who's like respectable and has no real public not scars, but like, you know, no bad public image, no bad public reputation. That's like if you're caping for your wife, it's not supposed to be seen as caping because you married her. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like there's a level to it, I suppose. You can't just go too far extreme, right? You have to mitigate it on some level. But I think like the whole concept, just niggas be running so far with it. Like, bro, like cape for your wife, that's respectable. Caping for all these ratchet women, now you just look tarded.
It look crazy, bro. It's like why would you even let Sharon have them, man? They're a foregone conclusion. They're doing their thing, and shout out to them, man. I enjoy watching Sharon just pander and then get boxed into a corner and get fucking frustrated. Like it's I enjoy it, man. Let them have it. Why do you want that group when it doesn't even go with what you say on a daily basis, bro? Like it don't even. Who cares? They don't care that he got a white wife. Why do you care?
I wouldn't even deal with chicks who would listen to some shit like that in real life. Like if I'm dealing with a chick and I find out she listens to that Derek Jackson dude, it's a wrap.
You know,
what about
wait, hold on. So what you mean? Like, so let's say you're doing a stream like right now, and some chicks come in here and they're like, "Hey, we're here from Sharon's High Hood. Like, how you doing?"
Hostility. Hostility.
Man,
you're gonna have to catch me off guard. Don't tell me you came from over there. You gotta tell me you came from a nigga that I fuck with. You gotta come well recommended. I don't even talk to this nigga. I don't even like this nigga. Like, this is another thing too. Like, if you really hate a nigga that bad,
it took us some time,
content, bro.
but Hey yo, it took us some time, but we finally starting to see what you see.
Mm-hmm. I seen it from the get go.
Listen, do you know the thing about being right off schedule? You're always wrong until you're right. I've been wrong all this time, and now you niggas see what I see. I was just right ahead of schedule. That's all it was, man.
You was ahead of the curve, and now they about you just like me. We just ahead of our time, and in a timeless idiot society. That's why I can't stand. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this is why I love Joker in The Dark Knight. Like that scene in the interrogation room when he says, "I'm not a monster, I'm just ahead of the curve." This is how I feel oftentimes having these conversations where it's like, I know I sound monstrous to the uninitiated because like you said, Free Zone, you've listened to me a long time now. We've known each other in this space for years now. So I'm not technically an extremist in my actual views. Maybe one or two extreme views, but generally speaking, I'm not that extreme. It's just I stick to the basic concepts of practical reality. And then that gets labeled me an extreme. And I'll try to logic out my arguments with reality or whatever, but somehow you get labeled an extreme. And you know what it is? I'm just ahead of the curve. I think we're all going to come around to a lot of these points at some point, but life has to kick you in the balls sometimes for you to see the stars.
I just think the way you deliver things is extreme. Like when you say, like when you see what I'm saying? But so like what you're saying may not necessarily be an extreme thing to say. And you do put some spice and troll on it, but ultimately it's just the delivery. Like when you say you want women to treat me like you treat the white man. Bro. Like to a lot of people that will come off as extreme, but to people who know you and know that you're trolling, like we know what you're saying. You see what I'm saying? But to a person with fresh
extreme. Saying that shit to your mama in the middle of an argument, that's extreme, all right? I don't even treat you niggas like that, right?
Bro.
You niggas
right.
You niggas have no idea how far you could be going. You don't want to exercise your own greatness, man. These niggas are afraid of your own mamas.
Like what you said about the thing. Like they scared to be like, look, you treat me like you do the white man. How come the white man ice is colder? Mine is more freezy. You know what I'm saying? Mine is more even colder than his, but you don't want to acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? Why the white man's ice gotta be cold? Why the white man get to have all the fun?
But you guys know what's odd?
No, what it is that it's like we got stop. You just gotta stop waiting for permission to have all the fun, bro. Just have the fun. Fuck it. The white man ain't asking for permission either. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Who is this Trucker Mayo? Because we got a new guy on the panel. I don't know if I spoke to you before. Trucker Mayo, what's going on?
Yeah, let me jump in real quick, Hood.
Oh, American Man. I'm sorry, I forgot you were even up here. American Man, Trucker Mayo, give us 1 second because I'm breaking the order. But give me 1 second, Mayo. American Man, what's up?
Yeah. The thing is that the stuff that Hood said was normal stuff 30, 35 years ago. Like, when I hear Hood speak, I'm like, oh, okay. That's how I grew up hearing men speak. I'm not understanding what the problem is, right? The thing is that they're calling him extreme, but these are the people that will also tell you that, like, a man can be a woman. So like I don't get where like what he says is more extreme than saying a man can be a woman.
Mark Lamont, that's why I included him, because if you want to support black women, you stand on that side long enough, you'll be on Mark Lamont's hillside. Like there is a direct path, a direct line of logic straight to Mark Lamont Hill, American Man.
Also, Hood, I would love for you to go. I know. Also, Hood, I would love for you to go over Rowan Martin's telling of history, because I got to hear this one. Because if what everyone's saying is a lie, then I got to hear what the truth is. And
that's tonight. If I'm still around, if I ain't doing nothing, I might play that live. We'll see. Because Rowan Martin, that's probably going to come on like 7, 8 o'clock.
Have any of you guys ever pondered the absurdity of the party switch?
That was the whole beginning of the show, bro.
Just thought about the optics. Like,
I called it out.
Yeah,
Black
that's
people
why.
switch, bro. The parties didn't switch. You niggas switched because you got welfare and social programs and jobs at the bus station.
Yep, got all that free stuff. You know, the boomers got all that free gimme that, and now they putting a ladder up, and they gonna tell you you don't vote for blue no matter who, you ain't black.
Even worse, the black boomers are giving the jobs to the Mexicans. Anyway,
Bro.
Trucker Mayo, I asked you to wait a second. What's going on, Trucker Mayo? Welcome to the show.
How you doing, Hood Conservatives?
Cool, bro. Cool, bro. What do you want to add to the conversation? I know we've been all over the place. It's been a 3.5-hour show so far.
Well, I'm just wondering, why are you hating on the white folks? Why are you hating that we get to have mayonnaise on our elbows?
Oh no, you got me wrong, bro. I was calling out Cellulite's podcast. He was hating on Sharon Bracey because Sharon has hidden mayonnaise on his elbow. The nigga has like a whole invisible pouch for hiding mayonnaise on his elbow. And Cellulite podcast was calling that shit out. He was like, don't you black women know that this nigga has an invisible mayonnaise pouch on his elbow? He was really doing his best, bro. That shit was crazy.
Well. I mean, listen. You know, Sharon used to have, messing with chicks that smell like airport booty. We okay with that. We understand. Okay, leave that man alone. If you want to have mayonnaise on his elbow, let him have it. I'm just saying.
Hey, we all want to be in Snow Bunny heaven, but he a hypocrite. That's all.
Oh yeah, for sure. As a white man, I'm definitely gonna call a black man, that black man specifically, a hypocrite. Absolutely. Also, I wanted to say you're not an extremist, but you're damn sure an agent of chaos. That's for sure. Okay,
I'll own
that's
that.
what you do.
I will own that. I don't come around to be peaceful. I come to disrupt half the time. I accept that.
That's okay, because you know what? That's your nature. That's what you do. That's what you do. It's all right. At least that's just you.
You know, ever since I was a kid and I got the class clown award that one year, I've come to accept that I have a disruptive nature. There's something about me. I can't sit still quietly while everybody's having a good time.
Me either.
I understand. I can't stand it either, but you know what? It is what it is. Now let me stop playing. What y'all talking about?
Real quick though, I will argue this and shout out to Chocolate Bunny says I'm petty but righteous, and I think that's what it is. I might be disruptive but never untruthful. I don't come up to just say some straight up untruthful bullshit. I'm gonna disrupt you with something that's uncomfortably true.
Well, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with being true, but the thing is, in today's society, maybe about 95% don't like to be honest with themselves first. So, I mean, what do you expect? You got people that will tell them to, tell you about yourself, but don't want to look themselves in the mirror. So,
Trucker,
I'm not surprised.
when you're critically honest, almost to the point of like pain, you're immune to other people's attack at that point. And I think that's kind of, maybe a problem for these people, that you've been lying to yourself so long that me saying light truths become painful. But if you would look yourself in the eye and just tell yourself the painful truth, my little light jesting wouldn't fracture your self-image at all.
I mean, true, but you know how conversations go. People get heated. People get, I won't say heated. I'm sorry, not heated, but passionate and things like that. So, but we know that amongst men, like, when we having a passionate conversation, and it might be loud voices, and then we cool like in 2 seconds. So, but people take everything as serious now. Like I think we was talking about that yesterday. Like, everybody takes comedy like as serious. Like it's not really that serious.
Right. Well, yeah, that was the
You know what I'm
Drewski
saying?
thing. Yeah, I don't have a lot of huge
Yeah.
criticism about Drewski. I do think he punches right more than left because that's just the nature of what he's doing right now. But I'm not gonna go off on a pitchfork crusade against him.
If he
I
makes
think the
fun
only
of,
thing I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Go finish your point, Trucker.
No, I was saying I think the only issue I had with the Drewski thing, I think it was a little too early, man. I think that's
soon?
about it. Yeah, a little too soon. I think it was a little too soon. He could have, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't funny, but it was a little too soon. I'll say that much, you know.
Right. And
But
my general not even criticism, because it's not a criticism of Drewski. It's a criticism of the Drewski supporters, the people who think it was over the top hilarious. Don't be mad when a white girl puts on blackface next Halloween and starts talking about black women.
But what's the name already did that?
I know, that's what I'm literally referring to that. So, like, you know, suck it up, Cupcake.
Yeah, but
I'd be the hypocritical part.
Yeah, but Hood, you know how this works. They are going to scream 400 years once somebody does blackface. You and I both know it.
Yeah.
That's the immediate pivot. See something you don't like, 400 years.
Yeah. The hypocrisy is stronger than me, bro. What can I do?
Yeah, I gotta admit that too. Like that's the part I don't like, because it ain't nothing new. Like it's nothing new that on both sides we talk shit about each other. Shit, we hey, that white girl can dance. That girl, right? Hey, she could dance for a white girl. I mean, little shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't bother me. Like I don't mind. Like when I watch Tropic Thunder and shit. When Robert, I think was his name, Robert Downey, when he played this to like a black man, that shit was hilarious. I ain't get mad at that. Now when you start rocking monkey suits and shit like that. And then that's when he's like, nah, bro, you too far
perfect
now.
example. When Larry Elder was running for president, this is like the first Trump run.
Ooh.
Larry Elder was walking through the street somewhere, I forget where exactly, but a white woman with a gorilla mask, she threw a banana at him. Now, during these Minnesota protests, black ICE agents were getting called the N-word, hard R's, right to their face. And so there is this thing where, like, you accuse right-wing white people especially of having some type of, like, deeply held racial animus, but that shit is right in your house, bro. You have liberal white women who are just as racist as these alleged right-wing white people, but you break bread with them, though.
Oh, hey, Hood, before anybody goes.
Well, Hood, that's why I often say black people don't really care about racism. It's all pretending, right? Because you magically can always see racism in everything in one place, but blatant right in front of you, all of a sudden you go deaf, dumb, and blind. You don't really believe in racism like you say you do. Because if it's affecting you so much, 400 years, you would be tweaking every time.
Mr. O, you about to say something. Hold on, Mr. O, jump in there. You're about to say something before
Jesse,
making that jump in.
What Jesse Lee had said right there in the chat, they had a Democrat trans gentleman. That's a liberal you can get. A Democrat trans gentleman calling a black ICE agent an N-word with the hard ER. That is liberal as you can get. That is and said with such vigor.
Listen, heterosexual black men do not rank on the oppression pyramid. Well, heterosexual men, period, do not rank on the oppression pyramid. So you're at the bottom, like it or not, buddy.
And didn't that Torre guy give it the stamp of approval?
Yep.
And he went wrong for that?
Yep.
Yeah, I did a reaction video to that, and I just lost it. Like, dude, F you.
Yeah, I put it in my video too, because, like, I mean, you know, it was really, I used that video when the black people were talking about ICE agents at the airport, because it's the same concept. It's like, why are we kind of locking black people into certain frameworks for your own emotional comfort, you know?
Thank you. I would, that bothered me too. I ain't gonna front. Because it was mainly a lot of black people that was, you know.
It was Atlanta, bro. Like, who you think works in Atlanta?
I mean, listen. I don't get your money. You feel me? Take care of your family. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, shit. But I didn't like the fact that y'all ain't had shit to say with these white folks, Mexicans, because they part of ICE. They working as ICE too. But as soon as you see black people, black man, black women, all of a sudden now they cooning. I'm like, yo, sit your goofy ass down. Like, bro, they doing a job. They doing the job that your ass won't do. Okay, half of you motherfuckers, excuse my language, half of you motherfuckers is literally working with illegals at your job, and you won't say shit. They getting paid more than you.
How you going to excuse your language and then curse right away?
I had to finish it, okay? I couldn't start it and finish it. I'm just saying though, like real talk, like y'all, like even driving on the road, bro. You know how many factories right now cannot start up because probably 75% of their workers was illegals. So
Hey,
now
Trucker,
all
you
them
know what?
jobs what's up?
Speaking of truck driving, because I learned this when I was new into the industry, and I had to like go from dock to dock and warehouse to warehouse and see it with my own eyes. There are almost no black people in warehouses unless you're like in a major northeastern city. Everybody is Spanish, bro. I like maybe when I'm in Brooklyn, I will see a warehouse full of black people, and that's like a section of the warehouse where the niggas work. Everybody else is still Spanish, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I bet you most of them people that's in there that's not black, they're illegal. Like
Yeah,
hands
bro.
down. And think about that. If 75% of the workers are illegal as such, bro, you know how many people are losing out on jobs that could be working there, that
Mhm.
is in the country legally. And it ain't just warehouses. It's truck drivers, same thing. Doctors apparently. Bro, it's like professional jobs too. A
Yeah, we
lot of
thought it
them.
was just picking watermelons and strawberries and shit.
Yeah,
I got
and
into
then
a
you got
whole argument
dumbass
at the
black
barbershop
folks.
about that.
Yeah, then you got dumbass black folks out here talking about some. Well, I know them and they good people. I'm like, yo, I don't give a
I heard
damn if they
that
good
too.
people. If you've been here illegal for 10, 15 years and you still ain't got certified or nothing like that, that's your own fault. I mean, bro, you talking about skipping a line when you got people waiting on their wives to come to America. You feel me? And they kids to come to America. But you skipped the line, so now they waiting 2 or 3 more years. Bro, the hell, get their ass
Well,
out of here.
Yeah,
you know
man.
how
You try to explain this to. Oh, my bad.
well, see, listen, right? I
I
judge a
got
lot
you,
of
bro.
people based on like what they say, and realistically, when I hear black people cape for all these people and say allies and all of that, I know that you're not an outside around these people, right? Because when you're actually outside around these people, you sooner
Mhm.
understand there is no ally, there is no
Mhm.
unity. It's only people who watch the TV and are told that. These people don't go outside. They do not
Yeah,
interact with white people, Asians, Hispanic, none of that. They do not do it. They stay
That's
in their
funny.
neighborhoods and swear they know what's going on between all the races.
Hey, Bluff City, you were trying to jump in there. You got it, bro.
Damn, I forgot I was gonna say. I think I was saying like, damn it. Well, I forgot. My bad.
Well, no, the whole immigration thing, and like I said, I was talking to Trucker about just witnessing it firsthand in docks and warehouses, and he expanded it to just the entire trucking industry. It's logistics, it's driving, the helpers, lumpers, all that stuff. And when it just comes down to like who gets to have what in America, and this is really what I have kind of maybe a resentment against like the boomer black political class, because I mentioned this earlier. You locked in your government jobs and you locked in your foreseeable future, but then you gave the game away to the illegal immigrant groups who come in now. They flood the border, they flood the zone, and you can't even like section off anything for your own people now. You've made a deal with these like aggressive invading groups of people now, and what's left for the people who voted for you because you're both black together?
Mhm. Mhm.
Like the main
This is
reason they
why
do
getting
it
rid
is
of the
that.
illegals is important. Go ahead, Bluff, you got it.
Yeah, it's like
Did
the
Joe
main reason.
Biden? Oh, go ahead.
Hold on, American man. Give me a second. Bluff City, you got it.
Yeah, like I was saying, like when I would argue with guys at the barbershop about this, one thing I would always bring up, and I didn't mean this literally, but they took it literally. I was like, you just want to vote Democrat because you want your grass cut for $5.
Yeah, I'm not doing that shit.
Ooh.
$50, nigga.
Yeah, because
$50.
think about it. Why would they pay?
Sandwich.
Why would they pay someone who's American who owns a landscaping company more money to do the same job, and they can just pay an illegal $20? That's a come up to them for the same work and for the same amount of labor. Same with like washing cars and things like that.
Invading people. Yes, they are invading aggressively.
Yeah, but that does
capitalism, bro.
That does something, bro. Like that has an effect. Like watch and see how much of an effect that happen. When it takes a toll, then people gonna start complaining. I know it's took a toll in the trucking industry.
Yeah.
I know as an owner operator, what we used to get paid, like from I used to take a load right from Waco to Florida. That was sometimes it was most on average it was about 6,000. Sometimes I'll take it for 5,700 because they be good people, right? That run from there went from 57 to 6,000 to last time I checked it was 2,500. Guess who's
Wow.
running that? Guess who's
Less than
running that?
half. It probably Indians.
Indians.
The Indians,
Yeah.
everybody else but America. They
As
running them
how I
runs, bro.
know, bro.
They're about to suspend
I've
about
developed
200,000
a
of them.
seething hostility toward that shit. You have no idea.
So
Oh,
that's
man.
why y'all see that. That's why y'all seeing like a lot of the trucker companies, they're crashing out, they're bankrupt. Like even the factoring companies, they're literally filing Chapter 7. They're going bankrupt. Like they filing them because of this whole situation. And now because they didn't got serious, right? Thank God he's in office. Now that they are cracking down, they're taking their trucks and they're auctioning them off when they get pulled over. If you don't speak English, they're taking your truck and auctioning them off immediately. Now that that's
Auction by
going
the
on,
city, right?
you're starting to see the rates go up
It's like
more and
municipal
more
auction.
and more, bro.
It's like when you get your
Because
car impounded, right?
pretty much they pull them
Yep.
in and they want you. Guess what? Shut down. They not giving you no 10 hours on nothing. They selling your truck and your trailer right then and there. Where owner, operator, whoever own it is done. It's through. Because too much of that shit is going on. It's having a real bad effect.
Yeah.
Real
And
bad
you know what?
effect.
You can't convince people that it's happening. Like the idea that illegal immigrants get CDLs is hard for people to imagine. They think that everything in America works as the rules say they do, but that's not true.
No,
that's why
that's
like
definitely shown now. That's why they got
like
the
Stephen A.
records now.
Smith, man. It's the normie awakening.
Yeah.
Every time I see him hear something that's ridiculous, he goes, "What?" Or he's like,
Right.
"Oh my god!" Or something. I just like normie awakening.
Like, won't you just stop being a Democrat, Stephen A. Smith? Like, you don't like anything they're doing, bro. Just give it up.
But see now the truth's starting to come out. Though you seeing more and more. They're starting to show them videos of them trucks hitting them U-turns in the middle of the highway. That's been going on for a while now. They're starting to show all the accidents. They're starting to show how many people that, bro. Even my truck got hit. I got pictures. I'm parked, bro. I'm on my 10 hours. Dude backed into my shit, tore half of my whole front, all of that, tore the head, all of it. The person that was driving the truck when he's supposed to be driving the truck.
Damn.
He ain't even supposed to be in the country.
I can't, you know what? I can't even say none because the one little tiny fender bender I ever had in the truck, it was a dude kind of hit me, but he was black though. I couldn't even make a big racial thing about it. Goddamn niggas.
I wouldn't have made a big issue about it until the dude tried to tell me, well, we got a shop in Pennsylvania and we're gonna take you there. I'm like, nah, we not doing that. No, hell no. I want your insurance. I need we on that type of time. You thought you was gonna switch no, give me your license. Yeah, both of y'all. I'm taking pictures of your license.
When they start talking that shit, bro.
I want it all because I know how y'all gonna try to play this shit off. Y'all, bro, just the headline alone was $1,200.
You know what's so funny? Let me read this to you because Sound Soup thinks we're making things up. He says CDL drivers are subject to federal and state inspections at way stations, DOT checkpoints, and during traffic stops. Do you not think they ask for CDL validity? You'll get your CDL, but you will not have actually gone through the official channels. You'll either get you'll either get a woman. There was a black woman who was literally arrested in Florida for taking the CDL exam on multiple occasions for different guys, or they'll just charge you a flat fee to give you your CDL. This is how the scam works. Well, you tell me.
No, the scam works. That's one of them. But the other one is, you know how when you're a high school student and you go get your license, you fail a test.
Okay.
Right. Well, when you pass a test, the people that's in the office, the people that's helping them out, like you talking about, will take your information and place it onto somebody else on an illegal driver license and forge it. So you don't realize that you got your license, or your kids just got their license. Meanwhile, somebody driving with your kid's license, they get in an accident, that goes on your child.
Get out.
Yeah, so they taking your information and applying it to that shit. or whatever. I got a homie who basically that fool got sued for millions because the driver lied about his CDL, and that's how I found out that they was doing this. The license was forged, and the dude just ended up disappearing after he took somebody's life, and because of that, he had like lost his trucking company, and we talking about a company that was making $700,000-$800,000 a year.
Ruined his life, bro.
Ruined his whole life. One driver, all because it was illegal, bro.
And
That's how they've been doing it for a long time. That's how they've been doing it for a long time. So anytime your child if he ain't passing, okay, they're taking the information. The day he passes, the other guy goes in there. They place it as got his CDLA, forge a medical card or whatever you want to call it, and that's how it go.
Yeah, Bandit.
That's
We
how
were
it go.
just talking about centrists. Ironic as hell, right? You just can't fix them. Something about centrism. You just can't fix that nigga. Let the fence poke him in the ass until they figure it out. Anyway, we know we're coming up on 4 hours. I can't stay up here all day. And I just might come back later for a second show. I got to wrap this up in a minute. But had a lot of things I just had to air out because nigga Cellulite was getting on my goddamn nerves this morning. I had to
Man, you don't leave Cellulite alone, man. You know he rock with you, man.
I ain't gonna make it personal. I don't go off on personal vendettas. I don't hate the dude, and it's not like that. But like, dude was being very hypocritical. Plus, not only that, you gotta understand. We've been having a little bit of a long running argument. Like this is probably the third round now, and dudes be really talking with their chest poked out, and it's like, nigga, I just gotta play the tape. I don't even gotta poke my chest out. I'm just gonna play the tape and look at you contradicting yourself. So either you were full of shit, or maybe you're full of shit and you want Sharon's number 2 headband.
Well, I don't know what I didn't see that part on sales part.
Well, yeah,
I do know yesterday though.
Real crazy. That's why I had to make an argument about that. I realized what he was doing. He was attacking Sharon for having a white wife and caping for black women. But every time I come around, you caping for black women. So how are you different from this nigga? Because he got a white wife? All right, whatever.
Well, I don't know. I ain't gonna hold you. I look at it the same way Sel look at it. It do bother me. This is why I don't go over there like that. For that reason alone, because you know all the shit that he put on black men, Sharon, just Sharon alone, all the shit that he hold on black men, they try to hold to a standard and blah 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 blah. They won't hold to themselves. You know what I'm saying? They paint this picture, and like I said, I told him before, like, yo, you can't say shit to me. You gave the worst part of you to black women and gave the best part of you to a white woman. Don't say nothing to me. Don't like you sitting there, you over here lying to these strags and thunder rats, talking about you helping them out. In reality, you just supporting their debauchery.
That was you get what he was going at him for today, though. He was making a lot.
I made up. I feel the same way. Like, yo, and then even like the other day when we talked about the whole the child thing and the new beach or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's
when when they couldn't hold when he went in Brownsville. I'm talking about Brownsville. Couldn't hold that man accountable, his own cousin. I said, from now on, I don't want to hear nothing come out of your mouth about man politics. Nothing. You can't even hold your own family accountable. Don't say shit to other men, period. None. That don't even make sense.
But no,
I guess that's the price you pay when you're one of the hymns on the internet.
I'm not gonna go off on a crusade against Cell and none of that. I just had to go review this and say my piece. But no, no enemies to the right. I'm not necessarily trying to go on the attack. You know what I mean?
I don't think y'all got more in common than anything. I ain't gonna lie though. Sometimes you do be bringing up the women though a little too much though. I ain't gonna lie.
Maybe so. I'm not gonna fight you about it right
I ain't
now.
gonna. Yeah. But I'm gonna let you go, man. Do your thing. Y'all be safe out here, all right?
Peace, bro. Appreciate you coming up. Thank you. You're always welcome to come back, by the way.
Oh yeah, bro. I didn't even know you had a channel, man. As soon as it popped up, I was like, oh, he got a channel.
That's how shadow banned I am, bro. I got 2 monetized channels.
Damn.
Yeah, the game is the game, bro.
Yeah, I feel you on that. All right, later, y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this one up, yo. Anybody else want to say any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah. Well, first, I turned 34 today, if that means anything.
Happy birthday. You're getting old, nigga. You know, once you cross 35, you start to become an old nigga. I hope you understand that.
Shit, I don't care. Like, some people still think I'm like 27, 28. It's like, dude, you don't look 34 at all. I was like, thank you, appreciate that. But yeah, I think this was a pretty good conversation. We're having conversations most Black people don't even want to have because just too many damn feelings involved. Like I said earlier, the black community, black communitas, basically a matrix, just like the whole Democrat Party, the left, all that shit. It's just one big ass nasty tuna fish buffet, and Black people can't get enough of the damn blue Kool-Aid. That's my final thoughts. Thanks for the birthday wishes, y'all.
Yep.
Yeah, much love from the gang to you, bro. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Enjoy yourself, man.
Yeah.
Mr. O, you about to say something?
No, I ain't got none. I'm about to go ahead and drop down.
Freeman's Journal. Any closing thoughts before we get out of here, man?
Man, stay safe. Avoid the community. And that's it, man. Love your family. Tell your parents you love them.
Do the simple thing. You know, you're gonna make you just guilt trip me into calling my mama.
You're welcome.
You know, as much as we disagree about things, I still gotta call my mom every now and then. Family is everything, even when they get on your goddamn nerves. It's the burden of being civilized. What's up, bro?
Hey, you plan on talking about Afro Man's case like a future show? I think
You know what? I just kind of let that one come and go.
Okay.
I had no intention. It didn't interest me in the sense of like it's not the type of like content I typically cover. I'm happy as hell for him, and I was watching it play out. I think it was funny, like some of that on stage, like on the stand testimony when they were talking about how like he damaged he hurt my feelings and shit like that.
The songs he did about those cops were absolutely hilarious, dude. And it made him more popular now than ever before. I mean, I talked about him on my channel. I just reacted to like the most news clips and like some clips from the music videos he put in. And then I went and watched the full videos myself on my own time. Bro, oh my God.
You know, shout out to Afro Man. Like I did record some of the footage from his trial, and I had every intention on dropping a pre-recorded video about it, and it kind of got lost into the shuffle, and I never finished the video.
You can watch the one I did. It's like
plug the link to your video real quick. You got a wrench, don't you? Plug the link to your video.
Oh yeah. Give me one.
Everybody watch his video, so you know I don't have to make one. Watch Bluff City's video. Shout out to Afro Man, by the way. He made the cops cry. And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned Afro Man because this was kind of the take I did have on it. It's modern America. And a black man who basically got famous for smoking weed, he brought the government to its knees on the stand. And you niggas up here claiming about you claim you're so oppressed and shit. Afro Man had those white cops crying on the stand. It was a great day to be a black American. And he's low-key like right-wing, or like I don't think he's a Democrat at all. I think he doesn't really mess with Trump, but he's like a Republican or something.
I saw like a little clip or something of him on what's the name, Roland Martin's show, where he talked about, well, the tax bracket he's in, he should be Republican. But he said he's a black man first, you know what I'm saying? So
right, there's that weird, there is a little weirdness to that. I think I remember hearing, I remember watching that clip or something like that. But maybe he'll come around. Who knows? But I'm happy for Afro Man.
I'll definitely go to one of his shows just to be like, yo, I was there.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm glad to see it, man. Plus, it just kind of it's a refutation of everything they say about modern American culture and black people. Like you can win. Get your ducks in a row and go fight the fight, bro. You can win. But shout out to Afro Man and Bluff City Nerd. His video has been plugged in the chat, so please watch our Bluff City Nerd's video. Thank you so much for being a friend and a supporter to the show. We're gonna wrap this one up. Good to talk to you all the time, bro. Guys, no beef with Cellulite Podcast. I got no personal dislike of the brother. I felt a bit aggrieved by the nature of things that happened between the two of I and the previous conversations we were having. So I had to kind of let this play out and just review the content and defend my good name. All right. Niggas not gonna be talking to me all crazy and just the shit just be forgotten about. It's crazy, especially when you niggas out here talking crazy in general. Like, don't make me the bad guy. All right. I will run the game footage. If you make me the bad guy, I will run the tape. And then we'll see who really looks crazy. That's all. That's all. But I suppose he and I will argue about something else at some point in the near future. That being said, thank you to everybody who came up. Appreciate everybody who threw $1 in the hat. Like, share, and subscribe. I really can't do this without your contributions.
I need that money. I need that money.
But I got to take a break. I got to wrap this one up. I will catch you guys later. Peace, y'all.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help Black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.